Tempo, t'es une référence. Moi je sarnio kalongo j'ai dit.
Dans la rétrovision Noki au sala marche arrière. Passé anga na yo to wakana ebale. Pangusande pa bristo kende avant. Alita chamala.
King Makiadi na Montréal. Sima au Kibokidi.
Dans la rétrovision Noki au sala marche arrière. Passé anga na yo to wakana ebale. Pangusande pa bristo kende avant. Alita chamala.
Oboti.
Nalula yo, nalinga yo, nazela yo. Tina nini na petaje a kipergani. Na ipembula ekusani. Nalula yo, nalinga yo, nazela yo. Tina nini na petaje a kipergani. Na ipembula ekusani. Anita chamala.
C'est l'océan de sagesse. Sylvie,
Hallelujah. kopesa yo yawe yawe yoleki nyonso yayaye yosanjola moya solo tokobengama seko bana na nzambe ya solo tokobengama libela bana na nzambe ya solo tokobengama libela bana na nzambe
Hi, we are Sama. We'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. God bless you.
Bless you. Thank you.
Bless you.
As a gift to you for 2015, we'd like to give you a test for our upcoming project.
Moi je vais le suivre sur le chemin de la croix. Même si j'ai pas maison, même si j'ai pas voiture, j'ai pris la décision de suivre Jésus. Jésus est champion. hustler. Now, hear me. We are no fools on the hill. My people are no fools on the hill. You must learn, my people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the long wait. Sorry for the long wait. It's a pleasure to be with you today, and I like to say Happy New Year to all of you tuning in from all over the globe to ABS, Africa Broadcasting Service. It's a pleasure once more to be with you today. We're going to be having a very, very exciting broadcast today, and as usual, for those of you joining by way of Facebook, please you do us the favor, everyone, the favor of going ahead to hit your share button. Let us get started right away. I'm going to be having a very, very big panel, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very big panel here tonight. We're going to be talking the year 2021 and, of course, looking forward into the year 2022 in perspective to our struggle, the struggle for Ambazonia's actualization of independence. So, ladies and gentlemen, once more, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you who are tuned in from ground zero, especially. And of course, those of you joining from ground one also, it's a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to be with you. For those of you joining from Europe, thank you. Joining from the continent USA, thank you for tuning in. From Asia, of course, I know you are watching. Again, it's always a privilege to come to you with in very exciting moments, very, very exciting moments like this one. We are here today, I'm sure you all are aware, by the special grace of God. Now, many people do not understand when we say we are here, we are alive by the grace of God. What that really means, ladies and gentlemen, is that by your own making, by your own power, you will not be alive. For 360 days, or is it 365, you got up every day, went out for business, went out to work, got back home, had food to eat, you were protected, and again, 360 days, you are alive, only by the grace of God. not by your own power, not by your own making, but of course by the grace of God and the grace of God alone, ladies and gentlemen. So we have every reason to be thankful for seeing this gracious day, because God made it possible. He made it possible. Do you understand? Do you know, to be grateful enough for seeing this day? Do you know there are people who died early this morning? I am here in the USA. It is not New Year's yet. There are people that will die before midnight today when we pronounce Happy New Year in the USA. So many countries have already pronounced Happy New Year. Let me bring you some of those countries that are already in the new year. You have countries like New Zealand. New Zealand, they've already seen the new year. You have Auckland. Auckland has seen the new year. You have Fiji. You have also Fiji is a small region in Russia. You also have countries like Australia, Melbourne, Sydney, Canberra, etc. They have seen the new year already. In some small regions of Australia, like Adelaide, I hope that's the way they pronounce it, Adelaide, they have seen the new year. Then you have Queensland, Australia too, they have seen the new year, including Brisbane and so on. Japan, South Korea, of course, Tokyo, talking about Tokyo and the rest, they have seen the new year. And of course, Western Australia, you have China, the Philippines, Manila, and so on. They have also seen the new year already. Then you have Indonesia, Thailand, Bangkok, and so on. They have seen it also. Myanmar has also seen the new year, ladies and gentlemen. Bangladesh is among them, among the countries that have already seen or been into the new year. India, Sri Lanka, talking about Mumbai, Kolkata, and so on. Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen. Nepal, they have seen the new year also. Afghanistan, they have. And Iran is almost into it, ladies and gentlemen. So those are the countries that are already in this year 2022. Of course, Europe is waiting till midnight. The USA is still waiting. Africa is still waiting for the midnight tonight to say Happy New Year. But so many other countries have already seen the new year. But again, because by the grace of God, you are going to make it there, I can say with confidence, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you who are tuned in to ABS, Africa Broadcasting Service from all over the continent. May God bless you. May God protect you. May God make your faces to shine, and may God open doors for you, wonderful doors, prosperous doors, ladies and gentlemen, in this new year 2022. It's going to be a glorious year. I want to believe for your individual lives and families, and for those of us who are in this struggle for the actualization of the independence of Amazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm going to bring you a big panel, and we are not going to waste time going into that. But I want you to know so many things happen in 2021. We are going to revisit some of those things with my panel. We are going to visit some of them with the panel. And then we are going to look into the year 2022, what possibly lies ahead for all of us in this Amazonian struggle for independence in the year 2022. Now, as usual, if you are joining by way of Facebook, please do me a favor and do everyone a favor. Go ahead and you hit your share button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit your share button And let us quickly populate this platform. I want to see the numbers jumping. I want to see the numbers jumping. Now you know that here we don't buy views, ladies and gentlemen. We don't buy robots to watch us. We have real people watching us. So please, that is how you get a message effective. When real people watch you, that is the essence of passing a message. So please, you go ahead and hit that share button and let us quickly populate this platform. At least 1,000 people in the next 5 minutes. We are already almost 400. That is not good to my liking. But in the next 5 minutes, you who has joined can hit your share button to all your links and populate the platform. I understand it is a New Year's Eve. Now I can see the numbers are trying to jump. Hit that share button, ladies and gentlemen. Wonderful, just jumping now. Hit that share button. Hit that share button and let the anchor man know why I am walking here. You are also walking out there. Again, I have a full house, a big house. Not everyone is here yet, but at least we have quite a number of them here already. And we are going to start the broadcast with them. But before we get there again, we are doing an introspect into the year 2021. And of course, looking into the coming year 2022. But I like to say this, ladies and gentlemen. The interim government and the struggle, the Ambazonian struggle achieved, ladies and gentlemen, so much in 2021. I think 2021, it appears to me, was exactly the year we went into this war of independence. The war started in 2017, November 2017, when Paul Biya declared war on Ambazonians. We went in, ladies and gentlemen, with robot guns. We went in with den guns and the audacious, you all recall that. Then we started going in with AK-47s. And then the Lifanses, the Fontem Asunganyis, and the rest, they began to come in. By the end of this year, 2021, we were beginning to see rocket water, what do they call them again? Rockets, ladies and gentlemen, on the ground, in the hands of our forces. That was a big achievement. Again, that was a big achievement. Of course, not every LGA and every county has been able to afford one. It is my prayer that this year, 2022, every LGA and every county in Ambazonia will be working with RPGs and not just AKs. That is my prayer for this year, and I want to believe that every one of you out there, ladies and gentlemen, will take it upon yourself to back up, to support your local government, to support your county, so that they can put this equipment in the hands of these, our fighters, our dedicated fighters, ladies and gentlemen, who are not being paid to do what they do. I want to believe, I encourage every one of you, let us this year, 2022, resolve that we will put better equipment, talking about RPGs and the IEDs, ladies and gentlemen, into the hands of our fighters on ground zero. In every LGA, just imagine if every LGA can be carrying one, every LGA. In Mesam, for example, we have seven LGAs, local government areas. Just imagine If every local government area in Mezam can boast of one RPG, just imagine the boost it gives our struggle. Think about Kumba. Think about, Meme. Think about Fako. Think about Ngoketunja. Think about Bui. Think about Menchum. Think about Donga Mantum. Think about Bui. Think about the BLM. Think about Manu. And all of them, the rest of them, all the LGAs having RPGs in their possession. Ladies and gentlemen, if we do that, La République du Cameroon will bow out in less than no time, and they will be forced to the negotiation table. Right now, I want to believe, and you all know that, La République du Cameroon is thinking that, oh, they are in faction, they are in pieces, they are crumbling, we are winning, we are almost done. Ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you, listen, they can rejoice right now. They will not have to rejoice tomorrow. They can rejoice right now. They will not have any reason to rejoice, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow. So, I really love to appreciate all of you Ambazonians who over the years sacrifice your time, your money, and your service to make sure that we keep the war going on without the ability for La République du Cameroon to declare the war over. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. I need the numbers rising. I understand it is late and many people are in celebratory mode and some are going to churches, but we can hit at least 1,000 people on the Facebook platform. So if you are joining, please, you go ahead and you hit your share button and let others join us here. So again, I like to appreciate all of you who sacrifice your money, you sacrifice your time, and who sacrifice your service to make sure that La République du Cameroon, or let me put it this way, to deny La République du Cameroon victory, a declaration of victory in this war. Going into the year 2022, we have to do just the same as we equip those Ambazonia restoration forces with better equipment on the ground. That is our assignment for this new year. Ladies and gentlemen, and let me also add this. We had, besides the victories, we also saw the emergence of young, strong, generous, and field marshals emerge, ladies and gentlemen, in Amazonia. You all saw the emergence of FM, no PT. You saw the emergence of FM, 10 Kobo. You saw the emergence also of FM Grandpa out there in Bali. You saw the emergence of General Okoro, ladies and gentlemen, out there in Mezam. You saw them all over the place. Of course, Isubu has been there. I think after Field Marshal, there was Isubu, and then you have No PT, you have Grandpa, you have Ten Kobo, you have Okoro. Ladies and gentlemen, we saw the emergence of these vibrant, brave Ambazonian restoration fighters out there. We want to pray, God, that in 2022, we will also see the emergence of this kind of brave fighters in every county and local government in Ambazonia. Let us pray for that. And we're not only praying for their emergence, let us also pray, ladies and gentlemen, that the Lord will protect them. The Lord will deliver them. The Lord will cover them with the blood of Jesus Christ. The Lord will provide for their needs. The Lord will heal those who are wounded in the battlefront. The Lord will provide for their families and also protect and cover their families. The Lord will emerge so many other generals out there in every LGA on ground zero. Let this be our prayer for all of them. For all of them. Let God protect them. Those who are in incarceration, ladies and gentlemen, we pray for them too, that they will find deliverance and freedom in this year, 2022. Of course, we will not also stop to pray that this war may come to an end, in the year 2022 with Ambazonia's independence. That will be our prayer too. The Bible says, there is a proverb. Many things are rough. Many things are, I read this in the poem they call King Otto. Many things are rough through prayer. There is power, ladies and gentlemen, when men and women, they pray and lift up their hands and grab their possessions. Let us do so. Let us do so this year and pray. Pray for a ceasefire that leads to negotiations and separation from French Cameroon, the yoke of French Cameroon. That should be our prayer going into this new year. Now, I will also add this. We have had our fair share of problems also in this year, 2021. The year is ending with real serious problems at the interim government level. I want to bet you, ladies and gentlemen, nobody should rejoice. The enablers should not rejoice. Detractors should not rejoice. La Republic should not rejoice. This interim government will get from here stronger, more than ever before. And I have said here again and again and again, never will there be a split in this interim government. You will have to split me before you split the interim government. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not going to happen. This interim government will emerge out of this crisis stronger and more effective, with a better leadership, effective leadership, ladies and gentlemen. That is what I am saying down the road. It will happen. And so, let me tell those who are hoping that all the interim government is in pieces, is divided, is in infighting. Please stop calling it infighting. There is no infighting in the interim government. This is a crisis of growth, and for better leadership, we will see it happen. We will see it happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, especially to you on ground zero, please hold your peace and remain resilient, remain brave and courageous. Please remove your eyes from what you see in the diaspora. You know, there is a saying that bad things happen. Bad things happen when good people do nothing. Bad things happen when good people do nothing. Somebody called me this morning from Europe and said, Secretary Chris, where were you when all these things were happening? All these things we're hearing today, where were you when they were happening? And I said, but don't you remember having called a black leg for calling out those things? Ladies and gentlemen, but listen. Whatever has happened, we will fix it, and this interim government will emerge stronger, and again with a more effective and powerful leadership. That is what we are anticipating in the year 2022. You will see a strong interim government emerge in 2022, ladies and gentlemen. And let me assure you, I think coming Wednesday or Friday, I'm going to be coming to you with a very special presentation to put out to you exactly what I have been calling problems at the interim government. I think the moment has come for me to formally come out and present to you what those problems exactly are, and what can be done or what should be done to ameliorate them and get better, ladies and gentlemen. I will do that coming week, and I hope that you will be there to watch and to listen. It's going to be very, very revealing. Very, very revealing. All this time, I decided to stay mute, waiting for the Restoration Council to look into some of those problems. So far, they are doing some work. I know many people say they are very slow. Indeed, it is true. But you have to know there is opposition and difficulty in there too, ladies and gentlemen. But that notwithstanding, I can assure you, and I say this with much certainty, that this house will be put into order. This house, the interim government, will be put in order, and we will see a better interim government waging better strategy going into, fighting La République du Cameroon in this year, 2022. But before I bring in my panel, ladies and gentlemen, we lost so many of our people, our civilians, our fighters on ground zero. I would like all of us to just pause for a minute. Pause for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Pause for a minute and let us acknowledge their sacrifice. All right. Thank you for observing that 1 minute for the sacrifice of our people. We were told, we learned last year by Radio France Internationale that at least 30,000 people have been killed in the course of this 5 years war. In the course of this 5 years war, and the majority of which have been our own people from all the LGAs and counties in Ambazonia. We've lost some wonderful, great, courageous, and brave fighters in all the counties. We've lost some wonderful, wonderful generals, ladies and gentlemen, in the course of this war also. My prayer is that this year, we are going to see less lose, ladies and gentlemen, from within our fighters, That is my prayer, and I hope it is your prayer too. Again, I want you to hit your share button. You must hit 1,000 and more people tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So, that is my prayer. And I want to pray also. I wish we all can pray also for all our generals, our FMs and commanders and soldiers who are left standing. Let us pray that this year, God will protect them. God will deliver them. God will save them. That the bullet of the enemy shall not, ladies and gentlemen, penetrate them in the name of Jesus Christ. All right. So having said this, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to bring you, start introducing to you the panel for tonight. Some of them are not here yet, but some are here already a good number is here, and I have with me, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Nanchop, joining me from the Federal Republic of Germany. Mr. Nanchop.
Hello, Secretary Quiz. I can't get you now. But I guess you can get me. Good evening, fellow Amazonians. Good evening to you, Secretary Quiz. I can't get you, Secretary Quiz. Well, Secretary Chris, if you can hear me, please, you have to switch on your mic. Again, good evening, fellow Amazonians. I'm not a stranger to the house. And of course, just like Secretary Chris was saying, 2020 has been a great year. It's been, I will choose to use my own words to say, a year where we, the people of Amazonia, decided to accept the war. You know, La Republique has held us captives for 60 years plus. And for the last 5 years, we've been in this battle, or in this war that was declared upon us by the people of La République du Cameroon, by their president. And I would say 2021 is the year where we decided to accept the war. And one thing that must be very clear here is that the statistics are showing that La République has counted the larger number of casualties in the year 2021. Why? Because we, the people of Amazonia, decided to accept the war. We refused being coward. It was the year, or it is the year that we said, we are not more going to allow ourselves to be killed like animals. We are going to stand firm, stand tall, stand strong, be resilient, and let the world know that we will not allow ourselves being killed like animals. You know, there are different stages of genocide, and one of it is the dehumanization stage. La Republique has just passed that already, and they kill us like animals, you see. So 2021, again, has been a great year for us Amazonians in the face of this war, because we've seen the international community.
All right. Mr. Nacho, can you hear me?
Now I can get you, Secretary Chris. Yes, sir.
All right. Hold on a second there. Let me introduce the other panelists before we dive into the discussion for tonight. We are also joined, ladies and gentlemen, by Eriko Akaba. Eriko, sir, my pleasure to have you here at ABS. How are you doing today? Happy New Year.
Same. Thank you so much, Secretary Chris. And Happy New Year to all Ambazonians, especially free marshals, generals, colonials, and foot soldiers defending the homeland. I wish all them Happy New Year. I wish all the Ambazonians of a good conscience, our prisoners of good conscience, our refugees in Nigeria, and Ambazonians all over the world. I wish all of you Happy New Year in advance.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. We are also being joined by Mike Fusi. Comrade Mike, if you can bend down your camera slightly, please. Bend it down slightly. Okay. Okay. That is good. All right. Comrade Mike, it's a pleasure to have you, sir, joining me from the great state of Maryland. Good. Happy New Year, sir.
Actually, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. All right. Yeah. Good to see you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is the man with an iron voice, Mike Fusi.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. Glad to be here and to share the panel with Eriko and Mr. Nanchop, and I believe others will be coming on board. The year is ending, and a lot has happened. I would first of all like to wish everyone on this panel a very happy new year, and especially our citizens on ground zero. I'm thinking most especially about those who are going through all the horrors that La Republique is subjecting them to. And I just pray for those whose souls have been wasted, that they may truly find peace. And for those who have sustained injuries and those whose properties, homes have been burnt down, I continue to urge them to be strong, stay strong, because we're on this course not to turn back again, and we will stay on course until our homeland is indeed free.
All right. Mike, we will get into the discussion soon. In the meantime, Let me also introduce Bishop John, who is also joining. Bishop John, Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year, Secretary Chris. Happy New Year to all the televiewers. Just want to greet everybody. It's a very big privilege to see this end of year, and we are still in the struggle. We just sympathize or except for our brothers and sisters who have not been able to make it to this point where we are, for the great sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifices that they have made on ground zero. Our hearts and our prayers are with them and their families, but we are still very fully engaged so far as the struggle is concerned, and our stop is Boya. Our stop is Boya. We are not going to stop at nothing except we get to Boya. Thank you very much, Secretary Chris.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you back on the set. Now we will get into the issues, and I will start with Mr. Nanchop. Others were supposed to join us here. J.K. was supposed to be here. He just sent me a message. He couldn't make it. Dr. Elad, I believe, will be joining. Achiri Atanga supposed to be joining also. He's not here yet. But Erico, Mr. Nanchop, Mike Fusi, and Bishop John, they are here already. Let's hope that others will join. Now let us do this, gentlemen. Of course, the female general was also supposed to be here. She's not. But let us do this, gentlemen. I'd like you to look back into 2021. Tell me, what was your favorite moment, your favorite event that took place? I am talking about, I'm talking in the context of the Ambazonian struggle. What was your favorite event in the course of the year? Bishop John, let me start with you.
Yes, Secretary Chris.
Yes, did you get it? Did you get the question? The question was your favorite event of the year 2021 in the context of our struggle for independence.
One of my favorite moments when the Red Dragons lit the La Republique armored car that went up about 20-25 feet up the air. That was an electric moment. That was the moment that demonstrated to La Republique that, look, these boys are not playing. The Ambazonian people are not playing games. They have increased their game. That was a very unique moment for me, basically. We've had a lot of wonderful moments so far as Ground Zero is concerned. Wonderful moments so far as Ground Zero is concerned. So that was one of the moments if I had to choose one of them.
Wonderful. And Mr. Nanchop, sir, give us what was your moment of 2021.
Once more, good evening, Secretary Chris. I saw some viewers were complaining about my sound quality. I want to believe that you can get me now, please. If that's the case, let me proceed. Secretary Chris, you know, until 2021, our own reactive part of this struggle has been more of the talking. It seems to the world, that's why La Republique and their cohorts have said that we are just mere talkers. We are good at talking. We are good at making noise. They even called us social media talkers, social media government, social media fighters, because until 2021, we have not convinced them that we are more than talkers. So 2021, when I saw the moment where actions began speaking louder than words, that was the moment where La Republique and the international community came to their senses and said, these guys are serious. And that was that particular moment where I personally was very happy, because now to those who were skeptics, those who never believed in the struggle, they started seeing something that can tangibly convince them that we are serious with the cause of our struggle. And to me, that has been a catalyst to the courage of many people to support the struggle and to the draft in whole, you know. And I believe this is the foundation for the future.
Wonderful. Thank you for that analysis. And let me get to Erico Akaba, if you can give us your moment of exhilaration in 2021, please.
Yeah, Secretary Chris, thank you so much. My joyful moment as far as the war of 2021, Bishop John just took it out of me because the first was the video I saw from Libya Lem where he lifted the explosive lifted the armor car almost 10 meter up, and that's my joyful moment. Secondly, the one of General No Pity, the two armor car they destroyed. I posted it on Facebook, and I have just 1 hour. I have 3,000 shares, and then I was being blocked by Facebook. I think that was my one of my best moment as far as the fighting in 2021 was concerned.
All right. Thank you. Mike Fusi, give us your moment of exhilaration in 2021.
Yes, of course. If I have to think of a moment, it would have to be that of No Pity. But since Erico already took that, I would say the second moment would be when errand boy John Gute almost peed in his pants when he went up to Bamenda. That would be the second after No Pity, because we saw the man who said he represented La République du Cameroon running for his life. It showed to the world that indeed there is war in Ambazonia, and no one was spared from the assault that will be coming from our restoration fighters. And it put us in a position of strength, coming from General Okoro of Santa, who sent
yes,
that message to La République.
Wonderful. Mr. Nancho, it seems you want to add something there.
Yes, Secretary Chris, I purposely never wanted to mention a particular moment because almost every moment was special to me and to Ambazonians. Because, when I saw No Pity demonstrated the might of Ambazonia in Bambali, that was something very spectacular and new to Ambazonians, and of course to La République, because remember, these are the people who called us 2 cubes of sugar. They've undermined us. They never ever expected that we would be able to come to this level of might demonstration. And when they saw what happened, that Secretary Chris, one thing we must note here is the armored cars we saw La République using that was destroyed by No Pity. These were those fresh given cars from France that they had. And we saw a video previously before that incident. We've seen a video where the soldiers, the bees were dancing. They were dancing and celebrating and happy that they've received weapons from France. Now they can destroy the ambers. And a few days after, we saw No Pity and his guys destroy these things as though they were just cartoons. It was energetic. I mean, it destroyed and demoralized the enemy. And I think these are the kind of actions we must continue to perpetrate against the enemy.
Wonderful. All right, let us look back into the players. Talking about the counties. Now, we all know that this fighting is sponsored by our counties, our LGAs, and which county would you really appreciate tonight as being one of the best, if not the best, in 2021?
Secretary Chris, I said something last year on one of my shows, and I was trying to instigate the positive competitive spirit in Amazonia, meaning that Amazonians will be competing positively to see which county kills more La République terrorists in their territory at the end of every month. The idea behind this was to see that the soldiers and the restoration forces are more encouraged and determined and challenged to fight the enemy, to cause havoc against the perpetrator of genocide in Amazonia. And it's rather sad that we've drafted for all the counties, but some counties have been very dormant. But Ngoke Tunja, let me use this to congratulate, first of all the 13 counties and the foot soldiers. And of course, all the field marshals and the generals, the major generals. And please, let me be very careful the way I say this, because I know how difficult it is for one to shoot a gun. I know how difficult it is to build up the boldness to defend homeland. I mean, just to get the courage to say you want to become a restoration fighter is enough. And I will not, and I think I'll be undermining any foot soldier, any general, or any county that is doing their best to see that they defend homeland by not mentioning them. But in this case, we want to encourage, let me say, excellence. And I believe Ngoke Tunja has been very excellent. Listen, Field Marshal of Lebi Alem have been doing a great job all the years. And believe me, if we were giving praises or we really want this thing to finish very soon, right? But if we're giving prizes every year, Field Marshal would have been winning it all the years. This year, I think I personally, Nanchop, I will nominate Ngoke Tunja. But again, this is just, I'm saying this to encourage every county to stir up a positive competitive spirit in Amazonia. I want to see something else in 2022. Secretary Chris, remember, everyone is talking about the new year. The year is not new just because the number changes. I mean, I'm already in the new year, but it doesn't mean because the number has changed from 21 to 22, it means the whole thing has changed. No, we make the year new by our actions, by our decisions to act on. So I really want to see us, the people of Amazonia, in this coming year. And I think I will come to it. I will say some things about that in the next session. But I really want us to make this new year with our actions new, and I will express some details on that in the next moment to come.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Nanchop, for that analysis. We are also joined, ladies and gentlemen, by the female general in the house. I hope she can hear me. Female general, Happy New Year, ma'am.
Hello. Yes, Happy New Year to Secretary Chris and all the comrades in the platform. I want to appreciate all Ambazonians for standing strong for the revolution and for standing strong for truth and justice. 2021 was a great year, and I want to appreciate all our fighters on Ground Zero. We see General No Pity, fire. We see Free Marshal, we see Free Marshal the King, fire. La République really die. La République really die for our hands this year, and we are going to assure Ambazonia and say all the business inside our institution have been arrested. All the people that do business to make our country a business war have been arrested. So we assure Ambazonia and say 2022 no go be the same like 2021. We assure Ambazonia and say over our dead body shall we use our revolution for business. Anybody wey dey do business deal with La République this 2021 has been arrested because we have facts. So this 2021 is going to end with all the business in La République and Ambazonia in our institution. We are going to save our institution, we are going to save our people, and we are going to make Ambazonia restore by fire, by blood. Thank you, Secretary Chris. I'm sorry for my network. I hope you are getting me clear.
I can get you clearly, very clearly, and your picture is getting better and better. Thank you for joining. Let me get to Bishop John, who is working in our Defense Department. Bishop John, you were at the forefront watching whatever went on Ground Zero. You can hear from Mr. Nanchop, female general, about what moments they really cherish on the ground. Give us what, I've been to you on that before. I'm sorry, let me get to Mike Fossey to give me his views on that. Mike, please.
Are you still asking about the best moments for 2021?
Yes, sir.
I thought I gave you No Pity.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry.
I
Maybe I'm
seconded No
actually here,
Pity,
but
and
not
I
here.
followed by Akoro at Santa. Yep.
All right, all right. But then again, we are looking at the best county. The best county. Let me get to Bishop John.
Okay,
the best county that really took care of their soldiers. Bishop John, who would you appreciate here the most?
Say that again, Senator Chris.
Amongst all the counties, as you know, this war is funded county by county. And which of the counties would you say really did an outstanding job? Maybe not up to what everybody expected, but did a really good job in funding their fighters and supporting their fighters.
Yes, I want to say something. I will give it to Bui. Bui County have consistently been on the forefront with action the entire 2021. But Secretary, there is something which normally they say the first shall be the last and the last shall be the first. In May 01, 2021, Momo County was the one that came up with the most devastating explosive that caused a lot of damage on La Republique, took out La Republique administrators, and unfortunately that happened and Momo County went to sleep. But should a Momo County continued, I think that Momo County should have been my favorite. But they began they started this devastating work on local materials. Yes, theirs was the standard and which was picked up by Bui, Gokitunja, and other counties. Thank you.
Now, knowing Momo very well, Bishop John, and being your own neck of the wood, what prospects do you see for Momo defense coming 2022?
Yes, Senator Chris, I want to tell you something. This 2022, Momo is going to set the standard again, but in a sustainable way for the entire Ambazonia. We have something that is in the making. We are not going to reveal it, but Momo, especially the Momo County Mobile Wing, is well engaged, and it's going to be all hell this 2022 in Momo. I can tell you that.
All right, and let me get to Mike Fossey. You are a good commentator and analyst out there. Which counties did, in your opinion, did a good job over the year out there on ground zero as far as their military defenses are concerned?
Yes, Secretary Chris. It's almost like a tie, a three-way tie for me. I will put Lobialem, Bui, and Gokitunja all together in first position because it is very difficult to separate these three because of their performance and sustainability. We're not just talking of a one-time thing. The sustainability of their firepower and their resistance against La Republique. Let's think about the assault that came after No Pity's action. The persistent assault from La Republique du Cameroon, and Gokitunja and Bui were able to not just independently fight, but work together to resist that assault. And the hopes that La Republique had, the manhunt they had for No Pity, fell flat. They couldn't get it because of the cooperation and the expertise that the boys now have on the ground. So, but we cannot leave Lobialem behind because of the history that they had already said, and even their own performances that came in, those sporadic but were major actions to send a message still to La Republique that Lobialem is a no-go zone. So I'll give Lobialem, Bui, and Gokitunja the first position as far as that's concerned.
All right, thank you. And Erico, please, if you may tell us, you are also a good commentator out there. Give us your take on which counties did a really great job, a good job out there on ground zero, supporting their forces and, morally, financially?
Yeah, Secretary Chris, that question is very difficult, but as an analyst, you have to give. Yes, I will give the BLM, Ndian, and Ngokutinja. Yes, reasons why Apundian first, we know the colonial prime minister is from Dian, and he's been trying all his best to infiltrate the people of Dian to neutralize all the fighters in Dian. And we have seen the work of General Ten Kobo demonstrating in Dian. We can recall the 5 delegates that were being arrested are still in the court studies, and we best know the military has been trying all best to get rid of the guys, but to not have it. And we have been seeing Ten Kobo trying to shut down most of the plantation in Dian. So I think those guys in Dian, they are doing a marvelous job, and you can see Dian is being located like a county without a backup. Ngokutinja, you have easily backup from Dian. From Ben Dian, Meme is not acting. Fako is not acting. Dian is alone. So I think Dian, the guys there are doing a marvelous job. So Dian should be my first priority.
Right. I think you make a very good point there about certain counties not being active. And I would now go to that and take the rounds again. I will go to the female general. Female general, in your opinion, which counties were not very active that you would love to see a little bit more happening there? And I will come back to all of you on this same question. Let me start with the female general.
Yeah, Secretary Chris and fellow Ambazonians, they say when something not day good, we get to talk the truth. Fellow Ambazonians, we don't see how Fako was hurt. What happened in the line when Fako just go silent? Ambazonia, when I ask yourself questions. When I ask yourself questions, Kumba LGA, totally silent. Fellow Ambazonians, I will give 21 gun salute to Lebi Alem of Free March of the King. Because when I don't see how he explodes like a public trust, when me myself, it sweets me so they say he don't, he don't die, they don't kill him. Kill him 100 times. You see they are alive, if they bomb them, they go. We don't see Free March no pity. Bombard la Republic. Call them for phone, say, Una come. Na mi Free March, Una come Bambali. They no quick come. Now, fellow Ambazonians, the truth is that something happened in Fako. Fako County have a deal, and that is the reason why
Fako County has what?
Tell Ambazonia the truth.
Fako County has what?
Fako have been silent because in the beginning, Fako was hot. When I see action in Fako, waiting happen along the line, I shall tell you in this particular ABS because my belly no be store. Yes, I have facts for the deal where happened for Fako to die. CDC, as we see so, CDC get contract with our own institution to make Fako silent because Fako na capital for Ambazonia. So they say if Fako is calm and other people, other way they make noise, it not go affect the revolution as if Fako was hot. So fellow Ambazonia, Fako was very down the last of last. It's so a shame that our president they come from Fako and Fako is 21. I am so ashamed. It's time to put back the wind in somebody's day somewhere in the work fine. Maybe they live from there, may work. Nobody say they will move somebody where they work fine. They put somebody where they do nothing. What has come to Fako to be last? Fako is our capital. We need to stand up Ambazonians and ask real questions and say, hey Fako, why you dey sleep? Wake up. I will stop for now. Thank you, Secretary.
Bishop John, do you agree with that assessment as a defense a defense chief, one of the defense chiefs, that Fako was asleep.
Yes, Secretary Chris, I completely agree with the female general. Fako is a force to contend with. Fako has the forces and they have the arsenal to do damage to La Republic, but somewhere along the line, everything went sour. I think, like we said, everything will come to the open with time. So that's just what I can say for now. But I think that Fako is underperforming, and Fako still has the potential. And hopefully, in this 2022, Fako can re-emerge. There's a lot of problem going on in Fako, the political issues, the division, the separation. And we've heard everybody say, like it was in the intergovernmental meeting yesterday, everybody expressed themselves. So there's a lot that has affected Fako, but we hope that going into 2022, we are going to be able to resolve the issues that are in Fako, and Fako might be one, and that we might be able to expose some of the underlying things that have happened in the background to make Fako to be complacent. Secretary Chris, we have a lot of intelligence about some unethical things that have been happening in Fako with some of the fighters and even some of the leadership. But I'm sure those things will come to the open appropriately and in the right way. Thank you, Secretary Chris.
All right, let me get to the rest of the panel. I believe you all agree to this assessment from the female general and Bishop John that something just wasn't quite right in Fako. Fako, we have a number of cities in our territory that should be really, really hot. Fako being number one by virtue of the fact that it is our federal capital territory. Then you have Bamenda. Then you have Mezam. Then you have, Mezam, sorry, Bamenda, I don't mean Mezam, I mean Bamenda. So you have inside Fako, we're talking about Boya, Victoria, the axis between Tiko, Mutengene, this particular axis. Then you go to Bamenda. Then you talk about Kumbo. Kumbo, I will take Kumbo out, of course, we all agree Kumbo has done a tremendous job. But then you have Kumba. Kumba has been very lacking. Mamfe sporadic attacks here and there. But I think we all agree about the assessment that Fako has failed, has not lived up to what every Ambazonian expected is supposed to be the hotbed of this struggle, being that is where La Republique is sucking out all our resources and feeding large on it. Mike Fusi, Mr. Nancho, Erico, what do you think went wrong in Fako? Mr. Mike Fusi, I'll start with you, sir.
Yes, Secretary Chris. I think the issue in Fako, first of all, is that of the citizens of Fako not talking to themselves. You have issues that could easily be resolved by just bringing the disputing parties together and asking them what their problem is and what it will take to resolve them. But these meetings don't take place. I have said it before and I'll repeat it again. If we have to have the Ambazonia that we want, we have to learn to talk to ourselves. I don't see how we can fail to talk to ourselves and then we want to be able to talk to La Republique. When we have a difference with a brother or a sister, we should be able to get into the house, sit at the table, and ask ourselves what the problem is. Find a solution to it, resolve it, get out there and take the fight to La Republique to come around. That is what we are not doing yet, and that has been the problem with all the conflict zones that we have within Ambazonia right now. We don't talk to ourselves, or we don't talk to ourselves properly. Let me put it that way. We don't talk to ourselves properly. We go and talk out there. This person says his own thing, that one says their own thing, and then we expect the problem to be solved. It will not work that way. We have to learn to speak to each other. So Fako, at one time I saw a group there, I think it was a group of Sagat. They came out and they were pointing a threatening finger at Field Marshal the King. And I said, but what's all this? Where are they now? Let's see them take the fight to the enemy. Field Marshal the King is not the person you are fighting. La Republique is Field Marshal the King is not the one that shot the baby's head in Boya. We are taking our anger out on the wrong person. That is what we are doing. I think that is just a problem in Fako. We don't know how to solve our problems. Let me put it that way. We don't know how to solve our problems. Yes.
Mr. Nanchop, this happened to be your own neck of the wood, and I have no doubt you have called out some of the problems plaguing Fako. What would you want Ambazonians to believe is the problem in Fako?
Such a quiz. First of all, let me say this. One of the things that binds us together is the belief that we all are fighting for one thing. That I believe in patriotism, and based on that, I'm able to work with you on trust base. I'm a son of Fako, and I want to say this to the world and to the viewers of ABS. Please listen. If I should go into the details of the things that have been happening in Fako, we are not going to finish the show of today. But let me just use 1 minute to say some things that might be necessary for us to understand at this juncture. There is no county without a problem. We, the people of Fako, we are capable enough to handle our problems. Yes. And let me tell you, the truth is that we will go through a lot of problems so that we can develop strategic methods to bring in solutions to avoid further problems. And Fako has been going through a lot in the past. So we finally came to a point where, listen, this is why we must respect institutions and institutional laws. Because if everyone wants things to be done their way, we must all come to a compromise. And when we have laws, we must obey the laws. And if we are going to use democracy to solve some problems, then we all must abide to the principles of democracy. The problems people are talking about Fako was solved a long time ago. See, Fako had problems. Fako is a difficult ground. Actions were coming now and then in Fako. Fako was not perfect. But Fako finally died because we had an election in Fako that was at least to bring back structure or structural functioning in Fako. And this was done by the interim government. I'm talking about the vice president conducted an election. But you see that decisions were made that disrupted what the people of Fako had accepted and were ready to work with. This further disrupted Fako totally. Secondly, Sir Chris, we've unanimously agreed that we want to work under the ARS. That means there should be no private militias in Fako or in the whole of Ambazonia. And we are calling the Ambazonian Restoration Forces in all the 13 counties of Ambazonia as the Ambazonian Restoration Forces. So we are not having something like, they might have their small names, but when you start hearing things like the Fako Action Group, we are not accountable to the county, but they want money from the county. We are not accountable to the government. When you start hearing things like these, they bring in confusion. They bring in chaos. And these things now will bring up, Fako has become so inactive because, as I said, a lot of decisions have been made and are still being made. The worst of all is that they were not just made, they are still being made that are destroying Fako. Listen, Fako will be okay if we will just allow the people of Fako to take charge, and let the constitutional laws be obeyed. Let the constitutional rules, like for instance, when the elections, let's respect the decision or the decisions of the elections. People will not come and impose their own people on the people. It cannot work like that. That's not what the Amber Peace Plan is even dictating or stating. So you see, this confusion in Fako, we've tried for so long. We're close to a semi-perfect solution. But again, the statement that was made on a speech on the first of, on the same day last year, totally disrupted Fako. And I'm ashamed to say that ever since Fako has been dead. And I want to say this. Well, let me preserve this for later. But Dr. Chris, the hope here is this. Someone has been listening to me right now and is saying, we are talking about the problems and problems in Fako. I'm ashamed to say that I'm from Fako and we've had less action this year in Fako or from Fako. But I want to tell the people of Amazonia that, listen, we, the children of Fako, want to assure you that we will not fail you. We shall not fail you. With those who made the decision that they were dissolving the Fako Security Council, this has been a year. We've seen the effect of their decision, that it was never a good decision. How do you judge the value of the decision? It's by the result. If you make a decision and the result of it is detrimental to the cause, it means your decision was wrong. Let's be honest. Because at the end of the day, the result of a man's life or of anything like this struggle is a sum total of the decisions taken. What we are seeing in Fako is the sum total of decisions that have been made by wrong entities. Please, it's high time for us to allow the children of Fako to take charge of their territory. And this will bring a great change in the future. I can assure the people of Amazonia that. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me give Erico a chance to speak on this because I understand he is also a son of Fako and he has been dealing with these Fako issues also. Erico, looking into 2022, do you see Fako emerging from this stagnation and doing what we see in the BLM in Bui, in Ngoketunjia, in Meza? What are your hopes?
Secretary Chris, the issue in Fako just take my memories to what is going on in Momo counties. It's just the same issues that is happening in Fako is the same issue that is going on in Momo. I'm from Momo. You remember 2020 draft in Momo? We were there, mobilized, we draft a lot, and there was no action in Momo. So we start asking questions, and it came a moment in the Mugamo group when Moment Daga, Wizi, and Ghana, we start asking questions. Where is the 2020 draft? We are not seeing any action in Mugamo LGA because the Mugamo LGA, to my best of understanding, we drafted 101 million US francs, 101 million francs. Because I communicated with the financial secretary, he gave me all the details, 101 million. When we asked questions, my Eringwa started bullying us. It came in a moment when...
Why were you asking questions to my Iringwa? She isn't the chairman, she isn't the treasurer, or is she?
No, we were not asking questions to my Eringwa. We asked a general question to the forum. She will come and bully us because she thinks she's from the hierarchy of the government. And what is going on in Fako is just the leadership. The leadership. You see, the president. I think he's the one disturbing Fako, and in Momo County, my Iringwa is the one disturbing Momo County. That's what I can say. Maybe he will hurt some Ambazonian, but that is just the main truth. The president, he's the one disturbing Fako, and my Iringwa, she's the one disturbing the Momo County, and the Momo County is one of the giant county we know. So the same issue going on in Fako is the same issue going on in Mugamo. The leadership, the people at the head, they are the ones disturbing all the counties.
Thank you, Chris. Let me add this to that.
Yes, please, go on.
I want Amazonians to get the record straight here. You know, I'm glad whatsoever we are doing, the audios people are making, they are being saved and recorded. You know, last year, December 31st, 2020, the president made a speech and made it clear that he was dissolving the Fako County security team and that he is going to take charge. Those who have a record of that speech, go and revisit it. He made a prominent statement saying, against advice of others. He said he has received advice not to do what he's doing, but he's taking charge and responsibility for dissolving the Fako security team. Secretary Chris, it's been over a year, and today marks 1 year. We can barely count on any action that ever happened in Fako after that. Before then, Fako had the difficulties. As I said, we've been going through difficult moments. But again, I'll be asking myself, and I want Amazonians to answer these questions. Presently, we are talking about AFCON. We should be galvanizing all the forces in Fako to make sure we send a message to the Republic and to the world. Because these guys are coming to have their festive activities in our land. It's a mockery when we are bleeding. Our mothers are burying their daughters, burying their children, and they want to perform. But again, a few days ago, you heard Mr. President came out and said he has dissolved. He was reiterating that he has dissolved the Fako security team and council or whatever. Let's be honest here. Wisdom entails that at this moment, you will gather every force that will help stop the perpetrator of genocide in Fako. But you dissolving and rendering them inactive, how will that help the cause? How will that help stop liability? Who is benefiting from that? Let's be honest. Such a Chris, gone are the days of sweet talks in this revolution. Actions are now speaking. As I said, in this 2021, we've seen that actions are speaking louder than words. Ever since the president took the decision of dissolving Fako security, Fako has become a mess. And I don't know why the president, listen, we had the audios from Reverend Axon and Reverend Axon. People condemned her, but after that, we started hearing audios and things were coming up. And now I have gone for a personal finding, and the things I'm finding out, Such Chris is so unhealthy for the struggle. But I want to tell the people of Amazonia one thing. In the days ahead, I shall be bringing to you every details of every truth with facts. This will not just be a hearsay. You will hear phone calls, you will hear audios, you will hear voices that you cannot deny. But this is not to destroy the struggle. This is to save the struggle, because we only saw things happening, seeing the shadows of things, but now we are understanding why those things were happening, why decisions were being made. People lied to us, literally deceived us while they were making decisions for Fako, whereas decisions were being influenced by different agendas. It's sad. I mean, we are talking about the destiny of 8 million people. We must be very cautious about the decisions we take. And talking about decisions, I believe it's high time we start restricting autocritical decisions in this struggle, because from experience, we grow in this struggle, right? We are learning as the days go by that autocritical decisions have been very detrimental. We might need a body that makes decisions, but the Amazonian people will decide on that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let me get back to the female general. I think we are getting into a little heated discussion here about the failures of some of our counties. So far, we talked about Fako and Momo. Female general, tell us what you think about Momo. You started this, you brought Fako into the limelight. Now, tell us what you have observed in Momo, please.
Secretary Chris, I want to tell Ambazonians something they don't know. Concerning the issue of Fako, how can a Momo go for Fako meeting and insult Fako Peking, telling them what to do in their own country, why in her own country she never do anything? She feeling bringing distraction in Momo. Fellow Ambazonians, I am talking as a daughter of Momo, and it's my right to tell Ambazonia waiting day. When they say somebody...
Did you grow in Momo?
Yes, Secretary Chris. Momo is my town. I grow in Gi.
Oh, that is interesting. Hearing that for the first time.
Secretary Chris, let me tell you the fact in Momo. Momo started having this issue when Ma Aringwa decides to overthrow everybody, to be a dictator in Momo. Anybody that do not want to do what she wants, she will bully you, insult you, fire you, say those kind of things. They push Commando away. This boy Commando away died so. Nama Aringwa push this man away. He said, you know, one see Commando. Because say command talk say, wow, how I go be say my mother, instead for her to talk, if they just insult me, they curse me, is she on the ground suffering, the suffer away and the suffer so? Now so marrying go curse am, you go die. I no wan see you. How can a mother, instead for him to protect the fighter, they insult and bully the fighter? We have a problem. We have a mother that instead of building the house, she is destroying the house. Ma Aringo Ato is behind any distraction in Momo. She have done so much. Philo Ambazonian, I have nothing against her. She have done so well for raising money for the revolution. But when something is not right, we should say it as it is. Philo Ambazonian cannot do good and use the same hand where you take do good, scatter everywhere. She just everywhere she go. Is she MTN? How can someone person dey na everywhere? Wetin no concern you? Executive meeting you dey there, ABC meeting you dey there, you dey na everywhere. You don finish scatter Momo, you go Fako, you scatter. You are just everywhere. Fellow ambassador, there is a problem.
All
there
right.
is a problem. So problem for Momo, na ma Aren scatter am. She scattered the problem in Momo. She even fight with Sikot. She fight with everybody. She just go. We do election. Oh, we want do election. She carry her hand, go call her party because she have her cabal. She have her cabal where they work hand to hand to destroy the revolution. I want to assure Ambazonia, say we get 200% facts. Say her and her cabal have been sponsored by somebody where I know will mention today. But with time, I will mention. They are being sponsored. Their strategy now to scatter everywhere and take away real fighters, real restoration fighters, real people when they get ambassador for heart. There is a problem in Momo, and the problem is one woman. There is a problem in the institution, and the problem in our institution is still the same woman. And Mama, where is supposed to arrange Naim the scatter, is supposed to build Naim the scatter. Where Ambazonians? How do we get here? We should forget sweet talk. They say the devil, they don't come with shani. Devil they come now with sweet mouth to deceive. That's so they deceive F, deceive and with sweet talk. Devil get sweet talk. We should not listen to manipulative talk. We should ask ourselves correct question. Wetin happen for Momo? Wetin dey happen for Fako? What is it that one person is having problem with everybody at the same time? There is a problem, Secretary Chris. We Ambazonians need to talk about the problem and solve the problem.
Thank you. Talking about the problem and talking about the failing counties, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things, let's look at the generals and the commanders, the FMs. One of the things we saw at the end of this year was Commando dying. I'm talking about General Commando or FM Commando dying, saying that after chasing the ADF out of Momo, he could not get a phone call to the president. What kind of message does this send to Ambazonians and to the rest of the fighters on the ground? Now, this is very, very important, gentlemen, because I know how much we try to get rid of these kidnappers and ransom takers in Guzang and Batibo, and it took commando to do it, but he died saying he could not get a phone call from the president for appreciation. Nanchop, I see you nodding. No, let me start with Mike, then Nanchop. Come in, please, with your contribution. What message does that send to the fighters on the ground?
Of course, Secretary Chris, we have to make it a point of duty to recognize our heroes. We always have to recognize our heroes. And when someone performs and puts his or her life out there defending homeland, It is but normal that we reach out and recognize their bravery. We cannot allow politics to determine who we recognize. Else, we are telling the others not to bother about doing what they ought to be doing. So, while not having the facts to say whether or not that happened, I think that is what we should be doing. Every fighter, after every spectacular performance from any of our generals, the commander in chief ought to reach out to that general and recognize him and give him that gives him the moral boost that he needs to take on to the next battle. And it shouldn't just be by word of mouth, but that is why, again, Secretary Chris, during our APP meeting and an audio which I sent out recently, I mentioned that we ought to have an incentive program for our generals or our fighters, for make it monthly. That at the end of each month we make an evaluation of all of our fighters on the ground and give them an award and say, okay, based on discipline, based on taking the fight to the enemy, based on protecting our civilians and their property, based on these categories, which of the fighting group or the generals on the ground did the best job for this month? We give them a plaque and we give them a financial incentive which they have to use as they please for themselves, not to be used for resources or anything. We give it to them to say, thank you for a job well done. And when we do that, then the others will say, okay, you see, the human being likes recognition. That's why people would play football and soccer and fight, even for just nothing, just the fact that they want to know that they won. So when you give them that incentive, it gives them the moral boost they need to continue fighting, to continue taking, and it encourages those who have given up on the fight to join it and say, you see, there's something in here. And I really hope and pray that this becomes one of our strategies in this 2022 to really incentivize our fighters on the ground to continue taking the fight to the enemy. Because for some reason we see that it is some kind of malaise amongst our fighters at this time, and we have to do something to jumpstart, to give them that moral boost to get up and do what they know how to do. It's not like they don't know what to do, and they are well resourced now. They have had more training. They have more resources. They have more technical expertise. They have the experience now, having been in this war for close to 5 years now. They have the expertise, and that's why they're able to make the La Republic cry. But what is lacking is the incentive. We have to incentivize them so they do what they have to do.
Mr. Nanshaw, please.
Secretary Chris, I might need a minute or two to explain some things here.
Yes, go on.
Now, Ambazonians, I really want you to get this story. Let me start with Field Marshal Nopiti. First of all, I appreciate what the previous panelists just said. Excellent words. We talked about encouragement. You see, Secretary Chris, we are here in the diaspora, sleeping in our beds, not hearing the gunshots, the sounds of the bombs and the rest, not living in that constant threat of not knowing if we can see tomorrow or not. So sometimes it's difficult for those who have a weak imagination power to put themselves in the shoes of these boys at the ground, to know how just a statement of encouragement can boost or prolong somebody's life at the ground. Let me tell you something. When Field Marshal Nopiti went and did what he did in Bamili, as a matter of fact, before he even went there, you'll be shocked that he called me. I spoke with him. He told me that, Mr. Nacho, that people then they saw at the go tomorrow will go kill them. He was just from committing another action. I told him, I was trying to tell him to calm down. He said, no, that people, and you saw him, he called those guys. He told them that je viens demain, je vais te couper ta tête. That's what Field Marshal Nopiti was telling them. He was boosted because of the previous action he did and how we praised him. He was so encouraged to do more that even when I tried telling him to take cover for a while, he said, no, He's going to know how to kill them, and he will be shocked, such a Chris. When he did that, he took the images from the guy's phone and sent them to my phone. He sent it. He told me, I don't do it to tell you, pa. I was shocked. I thought it was a joke. And I saw it all over social media. Field Marshal Mopiti had done something great. Now, let me say this. That very evening, I spoke with President Sako. By then, he was still not. He was not yet a Field Marshal. He was a general. Now, there was this deliberation of promoting him to a Field Marshal. And President Sako was very reserved about it. And I was talking with him. He was giving me the reasons why he doesn't think that General Nobiti should be promoted now to Field Marshal. He was trying to talk about he will become proud. He was trying to bring up some stuff. And I said, no. Then, before you know it, we saw from other sources, other areas, people were already calling him Field Marshal. Then he went back to do it. But he did it after others had already called him Field Marshal. Why am I saying this? This is the truth. We heard Commando complaining about getting positive feedback from the president. The truth is, one of the weaknesses of our president, Dr. Sako, is that he's very slow to act, mostly when it is needed. He is slow to communicate. He is slow to take swift actions. He is slow to take decisions. I'm not saying this because I want to slander him, but these are the facts. These are the things that have brought us to where we are now in this struggle. Commando complained about it. We heard Commando talk to Field Marshal the King about it. Why should Commando be begging Field Marshal the King to tell the president to talk to him? Why should that be, Amazonians? Now, the president is the father of the nation, the father of us all, the father of these fighters. But let him answer that and let Amazonians judge for themselves. But now, this is it. There is one thing I also want to call to our attention. Talking about the problems of the counties. Amazonians, did you notice that when A2, Nobiti and the rest, they came out, I think they were in Bui or somewhere, and we had A2 complained. A2 was the only person who complained about the draft. At least he articulated it openly. 2 weeks after that, A2 died. This is a general that has been fighting for
now,
over
A2
5 years.
was in Manu County, am I correct?
No, A2 was in, I think it's in Bui, if I'm not mistaken. Someone should correct me.
Yes, Bui. I think Bui. Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
A2 is in Bui. We saw A2 came out. He was a young guy. I think with his one hand was, I think, burned. Who said they never see no draft money. But you'll be shocking to Amazonians to see that immediately he made that statement. There was this social media route. People asked a lot of questions. And after that, he died. Who killed him? Are you, Amazonians, ask yourself this question. Nobody.
Are you saying that he was killed?
Such a Chris, apparently he was killed. Listen, we've not heard that A2 died at the battlefront. And let's be honest here. Why is it that even the county has not given us any story about his death? Why is the death of a general so mysterious to the people of Amazonia? To the fact that not even the interim government will talk about it. The last thing we heard from the general was still complaining about the draft money. Such a Chris, these are the things that would discourage some of our boys at the ground. Do we really want to perpetrate this war effectively against the enemy? Now, such things must stop. How will a general, for that sake, in as much as the life of a foot soldier is important, we are talking about a general who lay an open complaint and dies after 2
Mr.
weeks.
Nanchop, if I may get to Bishop John to inform or educate us if he has an idea about the death of A2. Bishop John, what do you know about his death?
Secretary Chris, the details of A2's death is not very clear. Beside that, he was seen where he was seen after being killed, where he was. But until we have facts. If we don't have facts, please let us not try to make assumptions. Except we have our facts.
What do you know, Bishop John, the circumstances under which he died? What do you know?
Well, the circumstances under which he died is not known, but we know that he was killed. And based on what I spoke to some people on the ground, he was killed by La Republic. But the details of that is not known, because I myself, I was very surprised to know that the A2 has died. We didn't hear about any battle, but A2 was not. I do not think that A2 was killed as you are saying, but the information I got is that it was killed by La Republique.
All right.
Such Chris, permit me.
Now, Chris, you people said something about commando and the president not calling commando. You know, I like to be very straight, and I like to. Have you people ever tried calling somebody in Momo? Has any one of you ever tried calling one of the commanders in Momo? Look, let me tell you, I myself tried many times to call commando. It's not easy. It was very difficult to get commando on a direct call. So, to the defense of the president, I wouldn't make that as a judgment to the president, because even though commando came and said the things, what he said many things that he said because he was angry. But getting commando on the phone was never an easy task. The network, and he never used to hold his phone. You have to call somebody that can get to commando. So sometimes when you have commando's number, you think that you can get to commando. No, you will not. Sometimes you have to call his secretary general to get to him, and the secretary general has to be in an area where there's a network for you to be able to get to him before you can get the information to general commando. So please, to the defense.
So how was the Momo defense? How was Momo defense dealing with that, Bishop John?
How was Momo defense doing what?
How was Momo defense dealing with the problems of communication you are talking about? Does it mean that the Momo defense too wasn't talking to him?
You know, we tried to have immediately. You see, when Momo carried out that operation on 0501, 2021, that was because it was when the satellite phones that we had just entered Momo, and they were able to coordinate those things very well, and that's when we got the action. But immediately after that, I don't know the demon that is in Ambazonia fighting us. You know that that cell phone project was crashed. I mean, was scrapped? It has been scrapped because the satellite phone. I'm very frustrated about this because we did a lot of work on the background to make sure every local government has a satellite phone, and that's what really helped Momo at that time. But immediately when Momo was about to start functioning, getting communication, they crashed or they scrapped that satellite phone project. So
who scrapped it?
I communicate with the fighters in Momo, but we have to make an arrangement. They have to move and go somewhere where there is network. We have to have a schedule for them to talk to us. Sometimes when we are talking, the network is very poor.
So, but who scrapped the satellite phone project?
You know, when I got out of the department,
if it was working that good.
Yes. I don't really want to go. I will not go into
all right.
because these are some internal issues. But let me say that. Let me say this. Let me say this. Whoever is responsible for scrapping the satellite phone project, that person is evil, and I think that what they did is not good to this Ambazonia. Most of the commanders, most of the ANSC commanders, most of the commanders on the ground, they will tell you that not funding of letting the satellite phone project go through was a disfavor to this revolution, was a disfavor to this struggle. We should have spent whatever money we needed to spend to get the satellite phone to the hands. Look like a FM10 Kobo. It's not easy to get FM10 Kobo. Dian was very happy with that satellite phone. Dian and Momo benefited a lot from the satellite phone. But those things just when the satellite phone are there, they are missing somewhere. We spent some money to get them to where they are, and some counties, some local government refused to send in their money. People started quarreling. I don't know what is really happening with Ambazonia. We have problem in really just letting go and promoting right solutions and projects that can really let us go far. This is a very big problem in Ambazonia.
But then, Bishop John, many people will say that it was also quite expensive to run that project.
No, Secretary Chris. The project were prepaid for about $1,250. You have the satellite phone 100 minutes every month, 100 minutes every month for 1 year. With the 1,250, this is including the phone. So the 1,250 was just for the credit. They didn't even have to buy the phone. Who says satellite phone is not cheap? That was the best deal we got. You know, if you use more credit, then you have to pay for the credit. But in a situation like what we are in, you're supposed to have at least 100 minutes a month for emergency, even to plan strategies with the commanders on the ground. So anyone who says that it was so expensive, that is a lame excuse. That is a lame excuse.
Let's get to Erico, who has something to add on this discussion. Erico, and when we come, and we're going to be talking about the little controversy that is going on now at the interim government, essentially a split of opinion between the executive and the Restoration Council about elections. We're going to be getting to that soon. But Erico, let me get back to you. You talking about the satellite phone project. It appears you know something that others do not know. What do you know, sir?
Secretary Chris, as far as the satellite phone issue is concerned, I don't know anything. I want to add my voice to the death of General Commando. The death of General Commando, I blame, the one person I blame is my Aringwa. She is the cost. You remember one moment in the IPP group when General Nopiti they did the act in Ngokitija. My Irene came in the IPP group and she was praising General Nopiti. I came, I replied, I said, you should be ashamed of yourself. You embezzle Moamo fund and single Moamo fund now. There's split Moamo into two. There's no action going on in Momo, and now you are happy of General Nopiti. When the president came, the president saw that, the president tapped and said, I should be taken out of the group within 24 hours, or I should bring the proof.
Which group are you referring to?
In the IPP group, even Dr. Ella came and replied to the president, you don't need to respond to this person like that. At that moment, I didn't have the president number. So when I came back, I saw, I said, who wrote like this? So Ghana Move called me and said, the president said I should be taken out of the forum, but he refused. So he called the president with me on a phone call. I explained everything to the president. What the president told me about Commando was that my Aringwa stopped him not to talk to Commando. That's what the president told me. That at one moment they were having problems with Commando.
I think you may be very, very accurate. I remember learning from the president that, yes, I mean, he was having issues communicating directly with the generals in Mogamo Commando in particular, that the Momo elite were not making things easy.
Yes. The president told me clean and clear, and Ghana was there, that at one moment, my Iringwa and Commando, they had an issue. He tried to intervene, my Iringwa stopped him. So, and that's when the people are saying that you gave ultimatum to the president. I also said my Iringwa gave an ultimatum to the president and the vice president not to intervene in Momo issues. Last month, they held a Momo meeting, and my Aringwa came into that meeting and said he doesn't want to see Dr. Abungwa in that meeting, and everybody in that meeting was silenced. And I quite remember in one meeting, the president was there. My Aringwa was telling the president that the chairman Jackson was training forces with Seseko. I was the only person in that meeting that I objected and told the president, I said, this same woman, he's the one who told Siko Johnson that the Ketika team of Mogamo, they are training fighters in Nigeria to come and kill Commando. And Siko took that information and gave to Commando. Commando sent his brother to Nigeria and they arrested the 70 guys. So I told the president, this is the same ladies telling you that Jackson is training forces with Seko. So I think the issue of communication with Commando is not about a network issue. It's about the ultimatum my Aringwa gave the president.
All right.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, because Sikot was able to talk to Commando. Sikot was able to talk to Commando frequently. Mark Barata was talking to Commando. EPOM was able to talk to Commando. How come when our president want to talk to Commando, now there where problem get? No.
That's a very, very good question there, Bishop John. You complain of communication, yet, as you can hear from the female general, Barita was able to talk to Commando. EPOM was able to talk to Commando and others.
I was talking to Commando also.
All right, we will leave that there. We will leave that there. Unless, Mike, if you have anything to add before we move to the next subject.
Really, I don't know much. I don't know much about it, so there's really nothing much to contribute. I would rather we move on.
Oh, right, good. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to sit tight. Sit tight. I'd like you to take a look, take a listen to this video, this footage I am about to bring to you. This footage is coming from the inauguration of the president in November 2019, I believe. Now, this was the chairman of the Restoration Council, Chairman Elvis Commenter, swearing in the president in his first term, or I should say second term, because that was after the impeachment of Sisiko. Now, this subject is important because we see a concerted campaign out there for no election, a campaign for an eternal presidency, the kind of things we see in La République du Cameroon. And there is a heated debate going on right now. Again, you find people circulating the temporary or interim constitution of the federal government of Ambazonia, suggesting that the constitution says there should be no election. The president should stay until we get to Boya. I'd like to get your take on that, because I believe all of you have read that constitution and you can do some contributions there. Now, please, but before we get there, listen to this. Watch this.
Please put your phones on silence.
Mr. President, it's so long that you have to practice. Your hand has to stay up like that of a teacher for about 1 hour.
Only 1 hour.
Wish it was the left hand.
His hand has been up for so long.
Your hand becomes tired, Dexter will stand and support. That's his thoughts.
Yeah. In the name of God, I declare.
I, Dr. Samuel Ikome-Sako.
I, Dr. Samuel Ikome-Sako,
President ad interim of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, do solemnly swear.
President ad interim of Ambazonia, do solemnly swear
that I will be loyal.
That I will be loyal.
Faithful and bear true allegiance.
Faithful and bear true allegiance.
To the Federal Republic of Ambazonia.
To the Federal Republic of Ambazonia.
That I will discharge my duties faithfully.
That I will discharge my duties faithfully.
And in accordance with the interim constitution.
and in accordance with the interim constitution
and the laws of Ambazonia,
and the laws of Ambazonia,
and always in the interest of the sovereignty,
and always in the interest of the sovereignty,
integrity, solidarity,
well-being,
and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. That I will give the Federal Republic of Ambazonia first priority. And only pursue policies that will enhance and advance the prosperity and security of the people, and oppose any policy or action that may jeopardize the integrity of Ambazonia or the well-being of its people. That I will protect and promote the constitutional rights and liberties of every citizen of Ambazonia. That I will devote myself to doing justice to all and to ensure equitable redistribution of the country's wealth and resources to the benefit of all the people of Ambazonia. That I will not allow my personal interests to influence my official conduct or my decisions. That I will discharge my duties to the fullest of my knowledge and ability, and according to the true dictates of my conscience, without fear, favor or prejudice. And I will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the interim constitution. That I will do right to all manner of people, according to law, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. That I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any person any matter which shall be brought under my consideration or shall become known to me as president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as president. That I will devote myself to the service, well-being, and prosperity of the people of Ambazonia, and that I will always work for the advancement of responsible democracy in Ambazonia. And to this end, and without compulsion, respect the will of the people of Ambazonia, expressing freely, fair and safe democratic elections, and willingly hand over the office of President of the Republic to the person duly elected by the people of Ambazonia. So help me God.
Fellow Southern Cameroonians,
this is history in making. And in front of us today, the President of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia has a mandate. He has a 2-year mandate. After these 2 years, the Restoration Council will meet again and they will tell us what to have to do next. But his mandate, he has a mandate to serve the people of Ambazonia for 2 years. Can we now, Chief?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you all heard that. 2 things that I picked out of there. Number 1 is I will conduct and accept democratic elections in Ambazonia and will hand over to whosoever wins. And then secondly, the Honorable Elvis Kometa says, before the president, you have a 2 years term of office, and after that, the Restoration Council will then look into what next to do. As I said from the beginning, there is some people are circulating a constitution, the constitution of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, essentially suggesting that the constitution empowers the president to stay until Boya. What do you guys make of this inauguration, the swearing-in inauguration of the president vis-a-vis this election thing? I will start with Mike Fusi, sir.
Well, Secretary Chris, I had forgotten that something like this existed. So,
but you heard it, right?
Well, I cannot deny that I heard what I heard and I saw what I saw. I cannot deny it. So, when it comes to matters of the Constitution, let's be very serious here. I take them very seriously because it is because of the fact that our initial Constitution that we had with La République du Cameroon, when we decided to try this experiment with them, though under duress, that the fact that La République violated the terms of that constitution is the very reason why we now have lost more than 35,000 of our citizens.
Correct.
So I want us to be very clear about that. So when it comes to matters of the constitution, I take them very seriously because I know the ramifications on the people and the institutions of the state. Let me put it that way. Because when you start violating, especially when you set the precedence of violating the terms of a constitution, you are now telling the person that will come after you that it's okay to continue doing that.
There you go.
You see, when you look at the United States of America, where I'm resided, you and I are resided, you realize that the founders of the United States, the founders, they laid a very solid foundation for this country. But for a foundation that was laid for America, Donald Trump will be president today. So the founders of the United States, they saw Donald Trump more than 300 years ago. They saw him. They knew that someone would come sometime in the future who would not want to respect the rules of democracy. He will want to stay in power forever. So they built the institutions of the republic so strong and in layers that even if you violated one, you will not be able to get through all of them to succeed. And we saw that in full display this past year in America. Those are the kinds of institutions we ought to build in Amazonia. As we're going on with this debate, fellow colleagues of the panel, let's not argue this thing as if it's about President Fako. No. If we argue as if it's about President Fako, we'll get it wrong.
You are very correct.
It is about institutions that we need to build to make sure that we establish a firm foundation. Because when Ambazonia is free, we now, working for this, the restoration of our independence, we will be the founding fathers of Ambazonia. And if we get it wrong, then future generations will suffer because of what we have done or not done. So we have to take our assignment very seriously. This is not a playing matter. Lives of our children, our children's children, and future generations depend on this. So I just saw this video again, and I didn't even have it. I didn't know it existed. And it is something that we will see for ourselves and ask ourselves. The basic question is, what exactly does our Constitution say. Whatever our Constitution says is what we must do. If need be, and I think even the Constitution, there are certain amendments that we need to make to the Constitution. But as the Constitution as it is, we have to still look at it to make sure that everything is well defined, leaving no room for ambiguity. There should be no room for ambiguity to say, oh, maybe it was meant to be. No, we should not leave any room for ambiguity in our Constitution. Everything should be well defined, clear, so when you read it, you get it as it ought to be gotten. So I believe that is what we should do, because when you look at a document like this, and for those who say, okay, we're supposed to have an indefinite term of office, I was of that opinion until recently when this thing started coming up. I started thinking very critically about this, and it dawned on me that let's assume that this revolution will take. When we started, we thought maybe in 2 years we'll be done. We're now going 5 years, right? We don't know if it will take another 5 years. We don't know if it will take another 10 years or 20 years. So, what if it took 20 more years for us to get our independence? Are we going to have only one president? That is the question that all Ambazonians should be asking themselves now. And I'll leave it so my
Thank you. Very good articulation there. Let me get to Mr. Nanchop, get your view on this place. Mr. Nanchop.
Such a quiz, sometimes we react sentimentally to critical issues. We react with emotions, but we need to ask questions, just like my brother was saying. We need to think about the future. And I'm sensing a very big danger here for the nation of Ambazonia. Listen, this is not about Dr. Sako liking him or hating him. We heard, stupidity, somebody said, is seeing the truth, knowing the truth, but yet choosing to believe in the lies. From the audio and video we just saw, let's not even say we want to go into the constitution. It was clearly stated that the president has 2 years. And after that, the Restoration Council will see the way forward. And now we hear the Restoration Council say they want to conduct another election. Now, if you listen to the president's speech today, he literally articulated things against the Restoration Council's decision in respecting the constitutional law. Now, this is a big problem. We also saw an attempt by Barrister Fu and one other barrister who went out single-handedly making an attempt to extend the president's right to stay in power, unlimitedly. This is when you start saying things like this, then we have a big problem. We lastly saw these things in La République du Cameroon. We've seen these things with La République du Cameroon, with Dictator Biya, changing laws to favor him, changing things, putting people. We see Barrister Fu, who is he? He's the person Dr. Sako has appointed with almost 4 positions in the government. The same person, do you think will ever make any rational decision that is against the interests of Dr. Sako? No. And this is not what we want in Ambazonia. By the way, again, this is not against Dr. Sako. It's about Ambazonia. We must learn to make everyone to be subject to the law, independent of who you are. If our constitutional right says that every 2 years there must be an election, then let it be that way. And let me make this clear to those watching us on the TV right now. This is it. They did not say they are removing Dr. Sako. They said they will do an election. And if he wins, if the people want him to be there, so be it. But why would Dr. Sako automatically want to change or manipulate the structures, the laws, to work in his favor? This is wrong. This alone shows that he is unfit for leadership. Seriously. He doesn't support the democracy. He doesn't even stand for the laws. If you cannot respect the very laws you claim to defend. Did you hear what he was swearing? He was swearing to obey the laws. He was swearing to do everything. But when the time comes like this, and then you start seeing things where Barrister Fu is doing this one is writing his communique, they are trying to manipulate and bring another interpretation of the Constitution, is wrong. It's basically wrong. Let me come back to what my brother said. I think this is to open our eyes, Amazonians, that we have a lot of work to do in this nation building. And these things are there, and they're happening now to show us the loopholes we must close to avoid future problems in Amazonia. And believe me, we must force whosoever, be it Sako or anyone that is coming in to the position of presidency, to be an abider of the law. And we must start with Sako now. He came up in his speech today, and literally, listen, this is what I sensed. And this is what will happen. Let me tell you the truth, Amazonians. Listen, Dr. Sako does not want any election. And he said, let the Restoration Council bring whosoever they want to be the next president. So he is literally already creating his own government. He's making appointments. How would you be making an appointment when you have been paused and you know that there is an election that is being planned? You are making new appointments. It's wrong. So literally in Dr. Sako's mind,
I didn't have the opportunity to listen to his speech today because I was preparing for this broadcast. Were there any appointments?
If there were, I know I didn't get that part if there were any, but he literally made mention of the fact that the Restoration Council, in fact, he was making a charade of the Restoration Council and their decision of election. And he made it clear that let Amazonians not be surprised that the Restoration Council will come up with whosoever is the own president. And he was making a fun and a shame of the chair of the Restoration Council. As a matter of fact, he was belittling this institution in Amazonia. And I don't think that's the position of the president. Amazonians, let's be honest here. We see this with Dictator Biya. It is not the position of the president to belittle any institution in Amazonia. He has no right to do that. So by the fact that he's saying that whatsoever the Restoration Council wants to do is dead on arrival because he will not allow any election to take place, is indirectly trying to tell us that he's against the elections. And should there be anyone that is not in agreement with him, they will create their own government and he will create his own government. And this is the worst thing we want to see right now in Amazonia. These are the dangers in the house, Amazonia.
Well, I think, thank you for that analysis. I think many of us are very, very resolved that there won't be any other government. There won't be any other government other than the interim government that we know. And I think Bishop John is agreed with me about that. Bishop John, what is your take on this swearing in of 2 years ago vis-a-vis the recent campaign of eternal presidency?
Secretary Chris, I've read the Constitution, and I think that such an expectation is against the interim Constitution of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. If they have to do such a thing, then they have to go through the right process and procedures to first of all change the Constitution before they can nullify that. So far as the Constitution is concerned, I don't think that is possible. They have to change the Constitution, except they want to just say that, oh, this Constitution is useless. In that case, we can only say that, okay, we use the Constitution when it favors us, and we reject the Constitution when it doesn't favor us. But I don't think that that's what anybody is trying to say. We have an interim Constitution. It might not be a perfect Constitution, but that is our Constitution. And the president was appointed or elected under this Constitution, and he took an oath to abide by this Constitution, and he should respect the Constitution.
Bishop John, there are those who will say that make the point that the Constitution doesn't say 2 years. The Constitution says, it doesn't say 2 years. Neither does it also say the sitting president or the current president. So, if you watch that footage I just played, the swearing-in footage, the chair of the Restoration Council says, you are being sworn in for 2 years. you know, there will be the argument that, but the Constitution doesn't say that. Doesn't expressly say so. How about that argument? Bishop John.
Yeah. The Constitution make that the president will be sworn in for 2 years. I mean, the president will be for 2 years. I think I have to refer it to make sure I'm giving the right information. Maybe you take somebody else. Let me pull that up.
All right. Let me get to the female general before I get to Erico out there. Female general. In my opinion, what we are seeing is essentially what obtains in La République du Cameroon, where when the time for elections come, you see people coming out and hailing the head of state as the only person out of 20 million people who can save the country and who can take the country to paradise, and paradise, they never get there. We are seeing essentially the same kind of campaign. Suddenly, 2 days or 3 days ago, there is this campaign of, circulating the Constitution, and I am hearing in some quarters somebody saying, you know what? You will not remove me. I am not going for any election. You will impeach me. I mean, that's the language you are hearing out there. You're beginning to hear out there. What is your take? What is your take on this female general?
Secretary Chris and my fellow viewers, fellow Ambazonians, we are Anglo-Saxon. We are not Francophone. We are Anglo-Saxon. I will take an example in Ghana. In Ghana, when you present yourself for 4 years, you can only present yourself 4 years 2 times. So 8 years, you cannot present yourself again. In America, we have the same law. Ambazonia have a constitution. And the same constitution impeached Sisiku. And we respect the constitution. The noise was making. People said everything, and we say we must stand with the constitution. Fellow Ambazonia, I don't see the reason why today the same constitution is telling Ambazonians there should be election after 2 years, and we see a quarrel with that. We have nothing. President Fako can come on election. They can vote him again. If he claim Ambazonia love him, is he right? But we must respect institution. If he's trying to play politics, beyond politics, beyond politics, that means say something not the right. And we Ambazonia must wake up and say the institution must be respected. Yes, our president must sit down because he don't be president again because the time don't pass. So
well, he is still there. I will refer to him as president because he is not replaced yet.
No, ex-president, no. The constitution right now, it's a president, it's not the president. Yeah, you are right, Secretary Chris. But the constitution right now, at this particular point, okay, his term is over. So let him be re-elected for the constitution to have his own way. You cannot say, okay, he reached my town. Okay, no, constitution, you can choose what they want. No, they are not choosing what they want. There will be an election, and Ambazonia will vote again the president. We want an election. Every Ambazonian want the constitution to be respected. Yes, when it was to impeach Sisiku, the constitution was good. The constitution was great. Yes, the constitution has the power. They speak for Ambazonia. But now, when it's time for election, constitution not totally become as something else. Cooking story, conspiracy, manipulation. No, in our institution, we shall respect the institution and the constitution. There must be an election. President Fako, we pray that you win again. We have nothing against you, but Ambazonians want a fair election. Yes, we must respect our constitution. That's all I can say for now.
You are very articulate, female general. Bishop John,
please. Let me read that portion. Let me read the portion in this document, please.
Okay, please go on.
That is on page 2 of 1. I mean, page 1 of 2, the last paragraph. Be it known that the People's Legislature, the Restoration Council, meeting on this day, Saturday, November 16, 2019, in exercise of our constitutional duty, voted in support of the cabinet nominee. Full stop. By this action, His Excellency, that's HE Dr. Samuel Ikomesako, is promulgated as President, interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia for a 2-year tenure, effective upon swearing in. The expanded RC will, within its legislative mandate, establish the modality for the continuity of office. Full stop.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking on ground zero, our parents will sit there looking at what we are doing here. They will be really, really impressed seeing us quoting these documents and trying to see that we'll walk by the letter of the Constitution that we have. I think that is really, really impressive. Unfortunately, we do not have enough time to discuss this, but this is already beginning. We're going to be getting back onto this subject. Maybe we're going to spend a whole show talking about this issue. But before I move out of it, I would like to give Enrico an opportunity to say something about it. Enrico, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Secretary Chris. What we are getting from the social media as far as the election and our constitution is concerned, we term it a constitutional coup d'etat. If you see people going out there like Barrister Johnson, landed lawyers, those are the type of people that are trying to bring what we call constitutional coup d'etat. Remember, this same constitution was not laid down by Dr. Sako. This constitution was laid down. Dr. Sako came and made the constitution. This same constitution impeached Siseko, and he was silenced. And this same constitution gave Dr. Sako the mandate to carry Ambazonia 2-term mandate. And this same constitution stipulated that the presidency will rule Ambazonia for 2 terms. I don't think we should be arguing here that the Restoration Council is not enough to carry out an election. This we know. Now, for the moment, now let's just take that the Restoration Council is the only body that can take Ambazonian to the higher level or can coordinate any form of election as far as the presidency is concerned. Because if Dr. Sako want to go in that light, if tomorrow I'm a president, I will also appoint my own member of cabinet, and we also said the Restoration Council in place, they are not legitimate enough to carry out election, and otherwise I will stay in or they should impeach me. So we just pick that Ambazonian should reason with us that we should respect our constitution. We work according to our constitution, so that Ambazonia will be a democratic nation, not like La Republic. I knew some of them, like Barrister Johnson and a host of others. They have been working with La Republic for quite a number of years, so they already know the system in La Republic. Maybe they want to bring it with Ambazonian, and I want to take this light to inform the Ambazonia that we have created the youth, the IG youth movement. We are working on that, so the IG youth movement is coming out very powerfully. We have started a series of meetings, and we are contributing. So in the future, you'll be hearing from us also, because the youth have been sleeping in this revolution for long. So we are coming up. I think we are seeing that most of the parents, the elders we trusted to give them powers, they want to derail our future. So the youth are coming up powerfully. Thank you.
Secretary Chris.
Yes, quickly, please, quickly, so we can move to the next subject.
The freedom of Ambazonia is not going to be a one-man thing, meaning not an individual is going to give us independence. Ambazonians, we don't hear the audio where some people that they try for one make people understand saying, not them, we give you independence. Not the only them.
Mr. Nanchop, please, I beg you to hold on there, because I was going to come to that subject for just a brief discussion on it. I like to play the audio briefly. Now, I would not do this if this audio wasn't out or put out by the president. Ladies and gentlemen, the president put out an audio this afternoon refuting allegations out there in the social media that he was engaged in some fraudulent and corrupt practices having to do with finances. I would like you to pause and listen a little bit. I'm not going to play the entire clip. We don't have the time for that. But I'd like you to listen to it a little bit. And then I will have the panelists make a little contribution. Listen.
Fellow Ambazonians, especially for Ground Zero, fellow Ambazonians inside diaspora, now special one for all our Ambazonian restoration forces at the salute one for this new year 2022. I want just inform one say some special campaign the way they go on now against Dr. Sako. Because now me, I don't be the last man. Where they call and say, me, I be obstacle. If I not be there, therefore don't find a way around about this thing. Therefore don't find another solution. Now me, I be the problem. Now so then talk. They say, take away Dr. Sako, they go find solution. Now me, I be the problem for the solution. When they say solution, you know what they mean. Their own solution. They make some campaign the way they go on now. The one way they go on now, where even members of government, they don't, why they don't be recruited or whether they don't join or they talk say, me, they don't give me money.
All right, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there because of the time factor. But you heard him. He says, number one, I am the last man standing, the only one who has not been corrupted. Number two, they say, I don't take money. They don't give me money. I don't be compromised. Again, these are allegations out there, and I understand these allegations have actually been reported to the Restoration Council, and the Restoration Council will be carrying out investigations to ascertain them. Mr. Nanchop, you were about to make a point in regards to this. Please go on.
Sir Chris, let me make one thing clear to Ambazonians. The president's audio is a result of guilty conscience. If you know the president, most of us have worked with the president closely. Most of us know him. At least, even if you know the president just on the social media level, you will know that it is not his art to respond to things like this, most especially if they're not true. But because of guilt, and because of the magnitude of the findings, as I said earlier, that some of us are doing and are bringing out right now, that he cannot resist because we have hardcore facts. Call me at any time, take me to any part, or present facts to everything I say. I've spoken
so
with people. So
essentially, you are saying you are privy to these allegations.
Such a Chris, I have 100% facts. Let me say this to Ambazonians.
Hold on there. You have 100% facts, and I want to believe you're going to be putting them out there in your channel.
Definitely. I can promise Ambazonians that.
All right.
Listen.
Good to hear that.
On this audio, Dr. Sako said, one, let's analyze some things here. He said he's the only man standing. We are 8 million Amazonians fighting. We have generals, field marshals, people who are sacrificing their lives. Some might not be bold enough to put their faces out there. Would you undermine them? This is expression of arrogance. Let me be honest. This is somebody, we say he's very gentle, he's a humble man. But if you listen to his words, this is an expression of arrogance. It shows you who he is. His words expressions are expressing who he is. Secondly, he says his cabinet, some of the members of his cabinet, whether they don't join like public in a fight. How can you make such a statement to the public world? If you are aware of the fact that you have some members in your cabinet that are like public agents, why don't you just kick them out? If you are for the good of the struggle. And then one thing that you do not play there, and I want to make mention of this, he said he will call for auditing. Such a Chris, a few days ago or weeks ago, he was giving an interview with Paddy on ABC, and he was vehemently refusing auditing. Now he wants the auditing to be done his own way. Amazonians, we are not going to be duped again the second time. In the ancient Greek, if you made a mistake the first time, you were never regarded the fool. But if you repeated that mistake, then it was intentional. See, Amazonians, we will not allow anyone in the name of position or leadership to dictate on us, the people of Amazonians. Our laws must rule. We will dictate how we want to conduct this treasure, this auditing, and what we want to audit, which departments, and how it's going to be. Dr. Sako will not be the one to say he's calling on Monday, and he's giving people 2 weeks to do auditing. That is the child's play. He wants to call an auditing on Monday, a meeting on Monday for each county to bring whosoever. The people don't even have time to prepare for that. This is a well-calculated game again, I think. But now, one more thing he said, that he can release his social security number and accounts for people to check. Let Dr. Sako dispute me, Nanchobad. He has not invested over $100,000 in the name of his wife in bitcoins and cryptocurrency.
Are you sure of that?
Yes,
you have the proofs.
Secretary Chris, I'm very sure of what I'm saying. And
the proof of an investment of $100,000 in the name of his wife.
I said over. I did not say
over.
I said
okay.
Over $100,000. Get my words clearly. Now, Dr. Sako's wife does not work. Where is she getting this money to invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Amazonia, somebody needs to answer the question of what 20%. Thank you.
You know that is a very strong allegation that you are making there, because then Ambazonians will be looking up to you to review that evidence, right?
Definitely, such a quiz. As a matter of fact, Dr. Sako had a secret meeting with a couple of members and told them it was a Zoom meeting. Listen, Frank of Ngoketunja, the ex-chair, was the one who introduced Dr. Sako into this meeting. Now, Dr. Sako is a wise man. He will not want to do any business in his name, right? Aringwa is involved in this. Now, this is what they did. Dr. Sako literally now was wanting to gain people, because they said if you bring in customers, you get some promotion and you get some amount of benefits you get from this thing. But he will not use his name, of course, because he knows he will be under survey. Coupled with the fact that ever since we had the My Trip to Boya saga, he knows people are monitoring him. His account is being monitored. So the best way to do is to do this thing through a family relative, which is true. So him talking about giving his account and social security number, you will find nothing if you want to go that way. Listen, Amazonians, I want Amazonians we need to conduct an audit. And
all right, Mr. Nancho, as I said, we really don't have time for this particular subject, enough time, I mean to say, for this particular subject at the moment. We will definitely be getting back to it as many times as possible, but I really wish you can put your evidence together for another show, and we look at that. In the meantime, let me get, ladies and gentlemen, we're really running out of time here, but let me get the opinion of a few other people. Open the phone line, take about 3 or 4 phone calls, and we call it a day. Let me go to Mike Fusi. What is your thought about the message, the audio message from the president refuting these allegations?
When I heard of it, the first thought that came to me was the timing. I just thought that at a time when we think the year is coming to a close, that the president would focus on a message of hope to the people of Ambazonia, bringing people together, especially considering the contentious moment that we're living in the struggle, and giving people something to look forward to. So when I heard about it, to be honest, it sounded like some kind of desperation to say this. So that's how I felt about it. I saw it like maybe a desperate move on part of the president because, and I actually sent him. I think I sent something in the APP forum urging the president to try to stay positive and give an inspiring speech at the end of the year to give people something to look forward to in the new year. So I was surprised when I listened to that audio.
All right.
Coming to what Mr. Nanchop said about the accusation, I will not. I have nothing. I don't have the evidence that Nanchop has. I cannot sit here and say that what Nanchop is saying is true or not. But I would like that if since Nanchop has already put it out there, I will urge him to put the evidence that he has to go with the accusation because it will be unfair to the president too to have this hanging out there without the evidence to corroborate what he just put out there. So if there's the evidence, you put it out there so Ambazonians can judge for themselves if this is true or not. Because we have to be fair to him to make sure that if there's information, an allegation, I should say, against him, there is some evidence to support that allegation. Because I would not want to accuse him of something without me having the evidence to prove that he actually did what is mentioned.
Okay, so, great. Thank you. Rico, go on, please. Briefly, very briefly, let's take a few phone calls before we go.
Yes, just to respond to the audios from the president, it's very shocking. And with the allegations, Mr. Nanchop had with the hardcore evidence, I think Mr. Nanchop can channel the evidence to the Restoration Council and they go out there, tell the Ambazonian people, put it out there so that the Ambazonian people can also be a judge. So for me, I don't know what I can say anymore.
Thank you. Thank you. Bishop John, your take on this?
Yes, Secretary Chris. So far, it is an allegation against the president. And as we know, our legal system, you are not guilty until you are proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. So we wait for the evidence to back what Mr. Nachop is saying. And there are other allegations to add to what Mr. Nachop is saying, and which we can only, when we get evidence, then we can actually say that it is true or not. But until then, they are just allegations. Concerning the statement of the audio where the president said he's the last man standing, I think the president might have to explain that what it means by the last man standing. I don't think we have too many people standing in this revolution. If we come to the point where there's just one man standing, then I think that we have really lost it. So he's not the one man standing, but I think maybe it's a figure of speech, what he said. So only him can really explain that, because we have a lot of people who are still standing strong for this revolution. We have not reached the point of last man standing.
Bishop John, you are the Secretary of State. You are no longer standing.
Say that again.
You are a Secretary of State and you are no longer standing. Female General, please give us your point on this. It seems we lost her. It seems to be a frozen screen over there.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, listen. We're going to get to the phones, take a few phone calls. We know that very many people are out there trying to celebrate the new year. Let us see what is going on. All right, we're going to get to the phones and see who is out there. Please, will we put the phone line on the screen? Before you call, make sure that your television set, the volume of your set is shut down. Make sure the volume of your set is shut down before you call. All right, let's get to the first call. The first caller here. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I want to contribute.
Yes, please, you have 1 minute, nothing less, nothing more.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me start with the issue of constitution. I'm one of those who I would never want the constitution to be violated. That is where I stand. That is my point, to violate the constitution. Secondly, let me come to Nancho. Nancho put an audio out there. The audio is still there in the group. And he said they made a deal in Fako to fund AFCON. The money for that deal was to fund AFCON. And then the president double deal and then went ahead to collect the money. It therefore means there were many people who made that deal. Can we know the rest of the people who were in that deal? He come again, the second audio, he said, they tried, he was literally saying the same thing. That it shows that there were more than one people with the deal.
Please make the point so that you can answer and we'll take other callers.
Can you tell us the rest of the people? And then secondly, Secretary Chris, you talk about the Constitution. Yes, it's good to respect the Constitution. But there is also this allegation that when you have the problem, you bypass the Ethics Committee and went directly to the Restoration Council. Did you respect that Constitution or that committee?
All right, thank you. We got your questions. Others have to call. Let's get to your answers. Mr. Nancho, I will start with you briefly, so we can take other callers, please.
Now, listen, I think the caller didn't even listen to that audio very well. First of all, the audio is still out there, as I said. I never said we had a deal to support AFCON. It's wrong. Please if you want to ask a question based on the point you're raising, make sure you are raising the genuine question. Listen to the audio and listen to it very well. And you want me to make mention of names of members of the deal or whatsoever. If you listen to that audio, you get all the necessary information that you need for public consumption. Listen to me. I've been very reserved because, one, we have a government. Dr. Sako is still the president. There are things about Dr. Sako that if I should release right now, it might be detrimental to the struggle. But for the sake of the state of things right now, I will release some of these things. But there are some things I will not release because of the struggle. But let me tell you something. You talked about releasing names of those who were in whatever deal. I cannot do that at the moment. There are a lot of things that some of us know, but for the sake of the struggle at the moment, we are looking at the bigger image. But I want to assure Ambazonians of one thing. There is nothing that happened in the dark that cannot be brought to the light. I am Nancho, and I'm quoting this categorically on this TV station.
All right, thank you. That I appreciate the briefness of that answer. I want to believe, as we have said that, you have said, you got lots of evidence with you, and I want to believe that you are not the accuser out there. I haven't heard the president call your name. In fact, I heard him calling some cabinet members as being responsible for the allegations, so that you are putting yourself out there as having some information in that respect. We hope that the moment will come when you are able to put out that information. As per to whether I went to the ethics committee, no, I did not go to the ethics committee because cabinet is ethics committee. You may also ask, how about the Judiciary Council? No, Judiciary Council is ethics committee. When cabinet called for a meeting to resolve this same problem, the ethics committee was seated in that meeting, in which the president said this will not be a conflict resolution meeting. I hope that makes sense to you. All right, let's get to other callers here. All right, let's see. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening and Happy New Year.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Germany, sir. I'm calling from Germany.
All right. And what is your contribution, sir?
Yeah, I want to first of all thank all the panelists in your studio with you. And this such a program is very important because it educates us. So my point here is I heard a caller talking about ethics committee. With the information we have at the moment, it is very the ethics committee for me can be very questionable, because if the people of Fako or whoever went directly to the Restoration Council, well, we get information like one of the chairs of the ethics committee is my Aring's family or in-law. You know, we see it not very trustworthy. You see, it's not very trustworthy. So if these people, they went directly to the Restoration Council, they believe there is more neutral, because at the ethics committee, it's just my Aringwa's family members who are the chairs there. Now, I was so disappointed because I love this interim government so much. I love our president so much. I love all the cabinet members. But I was so disappointed when somebody who knows I'm an Ambazonian called me and showed me what is happening, showed me our constitution, and then showed me the situation which is happening now, that the president is not ready to stand in for election or to allow election to take place. So this person asked me, my brother, do you think this is what we have to continue encouraging? Because it means we are leaving La République to another La République. Look at what your president is doing. This is the constitution. I could not defend myself. I could not defend myself. I was so I want to beg Ambazonian, let us try and fix this thing, because it is very bad that we don't respect our constitution. So I thank everybody, and wish better for Ambazonia this 2022. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. And let me add one other point on the ethics committee, ladies and gentlemen. When you have an ethics committee that rubber stamp reports that are not written by them, but they are written by the leadership and passed over to them to sign or endorse and pass out, that is not an ethics committee. You might be asking, what am I talking about? This is exactly what happened in the Momo case. We don't have time to get into the details of that, but that is a problem. One of the problems with the ethics committee that we have. Let's get to the next caller here. Hello.
Hello, Chris.
Good evening, sir. You are calling from Maryland? From your number?
Yes,
I can tell. All right. Please, quickly.
I'm calling from Maryland. Okay, thank you so much, Chris, for this opportunity, and Happy New Year to everyone on your panel, including yourself. I think to go straight, we have to make sure that there is no sitting president that's going to have anything to do with the Constitution. That's it. And then, you know, even if the president is now calling the Restoration Council a kind of choir, then I feel that on the day they pronounced to him 2 years, and he signed and received and accepted, he has to stay on that line. He doesn't have to go back and concoct something with
Did he actually call the Restoration Council a choir?
Yeah, that's what he called. Why is he telling them to go around and do what they are doing and make their own president? Is that not the people that put him in place? If he doesn't recognize them, it becomes a choir. That's it. It's a choir.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we are not in a church. This is an IG. This is government.
All right. Thank you. Again, gentlemen, we will get back to this subject again and again before this is over. Not enough time today, but let's get to a little more callers here. Ground Zero calling here. Hello. 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 Right, that caller is not ready. Let's get to the next person here. Another Ground Zero here. Hello. Yes, sir. Good evening. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Ground Zero.
Okay. 1 minute. What is your contribution, sir?
Yeah, I'll beg you to listen kindly, Mr. Chris.
Yes, in 1 minute, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Ambazonians have to know that we are British people. Yeah, we are not like the French people. Yeah. First, I will talk about the elections of Ambazonia. Nobody is bigger than this revolution. And I don't have anything against Maringwa. I don't have anything against Dr. Fako. I don't have anything against Chris Ano. But what I see fishy in the interim government is, one, they are just manipulating people. Because I listened to the interview of Maringwa on ABC TV, and Paddy was only taking calls that were favoring Maringwa. The more you want to go against, he is telling people that you cannot talk about the president or this, that is already dictatorship. They will, in America, they will shout, they will insult, they will call Donald Trump by his name, Joe Biden by his name. We are not building a strong man that people are coming to protect. So that was not diplomacy. Okay, where I say it wrong, that there is something fishy between the president and Maringwa. The president is acting as somebody that is under control, you know, because administratively, if you ask Maringwa, she was explaining that the president has no hand in money. Yeah, administratively, that is true, but they have boycotted the rules for them to work hand in hand, which is very bad. Okay, I don't have any problem for them asking you, Chris Ano, that they need to audit the ABC. Yeah, and they also need to audit the president. But my question is, Maringwa as a person, do you have the right to question the audit of any branch in Ambazonia? So which post are you holding? Yeah, because if you see she is bypassing, meaning that she has an upper hand on something. You see, you don't come on air.
Comrade, hold on there. Let me clarify something and correct a point that I understand she made about putting her legs everywhere or tentacles everywhere because she serves at resource mobilization. No, she doesn't. That she serves at resource mobilization gives her no powers to go out, demand an audit. There is what we call the IOC, Intergovernmental Oversight Committee. We also have the Auditing Committee or the Audit Board. We also have the Comptroller General. These three, when it comes to draft, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to drafting for the counties, not for any Department of State, but for the counties, the IOC, the Comptroller General, the Auditor General can demand, or has actually to demand, according to the text, has to demand that the counties conform or get audited so that the government is sure of how they spend the funds of last year before they can draft for the new year. That is the job of the IOC, not even the job of the Treasury. Listen to me carefully, ladies and gentlemen. It is not even the job of the National Treasurer to audit anybody. The IOC can require that you be audited, that the county be audited. The Comptroller General can require that a county or a Department of State be audited. The same thing with the auditor, not a secretary, even if that secretary is the treasurer of Ambazonia. This is the point that people are being misled out there about. She did not have any right, even as an undersecretary in the treasury, to demand for a dime from any department or not even a county. Thank you. Can you quickly round up, please?
Yeah, what I discovered that, hello, are you getting me?
Yes, please.
What I discovered that there is a problem is that an individual, you said there was election in Momo, it did not happen as it happened in Lebialem and other counties, then you decided that, oh, since it did not happen like that, this, so it will not happen in Momo. So you took that decision as one person. I want Ambazonians should be very careful when power has been offered to one person. It's very dangerous because we are just carried away that they hate this person, they hate this person because she was speaking very calmly. That's not my ringwa on the TV. You as who had the power to stop an election because it did not happen anyway. That means we don't have any governing body in Ambazonia. I don't have anything against anybody. Two,
Comrade, sorry, I will have to stop you there. Please stay tuned for other shows on this subject. I can assure you we're going to be having a lot of it, and we will have much more time for phone calls. Okay. But right now, time is very much against us. We will round it here. I will allow my panelists to take 1 minute, and just say what they want to say to Ambazonians. I promise you we're coming back to this subject. Thank you, sir. You remain safe out there.
Okay.
All right. Mike Fusi, let me start with you to round up, sir.
All right, Secretary Chris. It was a pleasure sharing this platform with the other panelists. And one thing I would really like to talk to my panelists about is when you go out there and you are talking about this struggle, I will urge you, please, let us stay positive. Let us stay away from name calling and be respectful, because when we go out there, you don't know who is listening to you. And how you present your case or you talk about the struggle is a reflection on us Ambazonians. So you have to talk and you have to assume that maybe the Secretary of State of the United States or the Secretary General at the UN is listening to you. How would you want him to hear you speak? You have to make sure that only the facts and only the facts are put out there. And then we make sure that we avoid, even if we disagree with our leaders, that we don't insult them, we don't call them names. And then coming to this issue of the topic that we are talking about, it is not, as I mentioned earlier, it is not about President Sako. It is not about President Sako. It is about the institutions we are trying to establish for our country. We want to make sure that we lay a good foundation on which Ambazonia can be built. If the foundation is not laid right, we will have issues when we have even our independence. So it should be the quest for every Ambazonian to make sure that the laws that we are establishing now will be good enough to stand the test of time. If we fail to do that, this whole struggle, all the sacrifices we have made would have been in vain. So I would like for us to really think about this and think about this constitution we are talking about, the rules that we'll be establishing going forward. And Secretary Chris, if I may borrow some of your time with your permission, I have a show that is coming up on ABC. It will be called the Amber Vision. And it will be tackling some of these issues. What kind of government we are going to have, what kind of educational system we're going to have, what kind of infrastructure Ambazonians will have, what kind of health system we're going to build, the taxation and customs, everything that has to do with the government. And it will be coming up in the days ahead. So I will urge all Ambazonians to tune in and let us have a conversation on what kind of Ambazonia we're going to build. One last thing I have to say is this. When you look at the United States, you have the CNN, you have Fox News, you have MSNBC and others. They don't always agree when it concerns their internal politics. But when it concerns something about the security of the United States of America, they speak with one voice. So we should start learning how to work together for the interest of Ambazonia, even if we have internal differences. It must not always be about the fact that when you disagree with somebody, all of a sudden that person becomes your worst enemy. No, that should not be the case. Let's learn to be civil. Like someone said, we are Southern Cameroonians, we have the Anglo-Saxon culture, and let that reflect in how we interact with each other. I came up here on this platform, some may think that, oh, see where my fusi is now today. I have, if
You
I
are
don't
now a
talk
black
to,
leg.
if I don't talk to Secretary Chris, even if I have differences with him or with my reign, if I would meet her tomorrow, I will talk to her and I'll express to her what I feel, and any other person in the struggle. That does not mean that because you differ in opinion with somebody, that person becomes your enemy. We have to get out of that kind of mentality. If we stay in that mentality, then Tanzania will not be the great country that we want it to be. And then lastly, I would like to wish a very happy new year to especially our forces on ground zero. We should do a lot to motivate them and encourage them and educate them, enlighten them, give them inspiration to do what they have to do for Amazonia.
All right.
So with that, let's, Secretary Chris, that's what I have as a last statement.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Nanchop, your turn, please.
Secretary Chris, most of the fighters at the ground are young men and women of my age. I don't think there is any fighter of your age at the ground. When you see me talk, I talk with this zealousness, I talk with this eagerness, with this bitterness, with this pain, because I would have been one of them fighting. Now let me say this, and I'll come back to Bishop John. Bishop John is our Secretary of State for Defense, and he made a statement a few moments ago and said, when I was talking about A2 and his dead, his response was so ambiguous. There was a lot of noise somewhere. I don't know.
Please turn down your phone. If your phone is ringing, shut it, mute it, please.
Bishop John's response was very ambiguous. And what I was thinking all through the show was, if I was a general at the ground, seeing that a fellow general was killed at that way, and the interim government, from his response, I would think the interim government hasn't done any investigation, hasn't even launched any investigation. They cannot even give an accurate information of how he died. He was saying he doesn't know if he died in a battle. There was a lot of obscurity about it. This shows, it gives me the impression he don't die. It's almost 2 months, but we've not had any. Even the interim government has no concrete information. What about the county under which he was fighting? This is sad because it's discouraging to other fighters. It shows like nobody can, if they die, they don't go. They don't forget about them. But this is not what I want us to take into 2022. These are the sad things of 2021. We must change them in 2022. We must be able to at least give an account of the lives of our generals. At least, I'm not even sure from his response that the interim government has gone down to his family or his wife to know if he has children. These are things that the county, down to the LGA, they must do these things. But from his response, somebody might be watching us and will just think, look the way they talk about their own general. My brother Fusi was trying to give us moral lections. Let me say this, bro. We are at war. We are not, everything being equal, if we're in Amazonia in a full functional country, there are some things that we're not even talking here. Justice will take its course at different level. But we must also understand that in as much as we are trying to talk about a nation, we are also in a revolution. We are at war. And desperate measures need desperate actions. Listen, brothers and sisters, 2022, I wish I can say Happy New Year. Well, I said earlier that nothing is new except we make it new. It's just the number that is changing, right? We are going with the old challenges, difficulties into the new year. But we can affect the change by our decisions. The decisions we make, the choices we make, the actions we execute, bring the changes. Amazonians, let's arise in 2022. We made Bia and his cohort bleeded. They saw their Waterloo in Amazonia. We can do better in 2022. We can only do that if we work collectively together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nanchop. Eriko, sir.
Yes, I want just to use this opportunity to wish a Happy New Year to our fighters on Ground Zero and a Happy New Year to Ambazonian, the IG youth movement. I want to plead with all the youth of Ambazonia to join the forum so that 2020, let's empower our boys on Ground Zero. Let's come together as youth so that we respond to empower our boys. We have seen the work, the good work of Watana Wata, and it's the same light with the youth forum. So I wish everybody happy New Year and all the Amazonia all over the globes. I wish you people all happy New Year.
All right, thank you, Erico. Let's get to Bishop John. Bishop John, your last observations, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Secretary Chris. Can you all hear me? Okay, yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
What I want to, first of all, I want to say that I give many thanks to the Amazonian Restoration Forces. That's the ARF Ground Zero Command or the Ground Zero Forces for the great work that they are trying to do to get our commanders all on track, doing the same thing, working together and working as a team on Ground Zero. I hail the leadership of the ARF on Ground Zero, starting with the FMA and the rest of them, Fima Shaisobu, Gabonese, and Tenkobo, is great guys. What they are doing is giving us hope for 2022. So I just want the Amazonian people to know that the ARFs are not sleeping. They are giving us a lot of hope for 2022. Now, I want to say this to the Amazonian people that there is something that is happening in the interim government. And that problem is if a local government or a county has a problem, we go in there to resolve the problem by choosing one side. That is our biggest problem in the IG. We cannot go into a situation where all the two parties that are having issues are interim government. But we separate because we choose one side, maybe because the people on that one side are favorite to us. And sometimes it is claimed that those people are the majority, even the majority, even if they break the law, it is majority. And we choose one side and we alienate the other side, which is also IG. Now, we should change our approach. Whenever there is a conflict or there's a crisis in a local government or county, we should go in there with a spirit of uniting both parties and choosing the middle ground that where all of them can agree, rather than just saying that, okay, yes, these other people, they are the official ones. This one, because they do not agree with this one, they are unofficial. Whereas all of us are IG, like in the case of Momo, that is happening in the case of Kumba local government and Meme right now is the same situation that is happening. Now, also one thing that I want to say is that, look, fellow brethren, it is time that we wake up. A lot of counties are very sleeping. We're talking about counties that are failing. We failed to mention Kupe Maninguba. Kupe Maninguba literally had no action, if with the exception of Nguti local government. Kupe Maninguba was sleeping the whole of 2021, and there are other counties like that. So I want to, if Kupe Maninguba can be up, they can give a lot of backing to the Libialem county and also to Manu. They are very strategic county that they need to wake up from sleep and do something and make sure there is action there in Kupe Maninguba. Also, as I was talking, Comrade Nachop, you said something about me not knowing anything. I want everybody to know that I'm not speaking as the Secretary of State for Self-Defense and Security. We have the Secretary of State for Self-Defense and Security. I'm just a secretary in the Department of Defense as we speak this moment. Yes, even though I'm working as I've always worked hard, when I want to do something, I do it with all my heart and I give my best effort and I support my fellow comrade and the defense community in Ambazonia. So that will do, but don't mistake my role. And what I said here, I will tell you that maybe if you ask that to the Secretary of State for Self-Defense and Security, he might be able to give you a better, accurate answer. I'm not privy to some of the information and communication that he might have been having with those counties and those local governments. We don't have meetings that much where I've been briefed on that. So I just said what I said was because of what I get to on my network, not because it's an official statement of the department. So everybody should get that very clearly. So I want to wish all the Ambazonians on Ground Zero and the diaspora a happy new year. And I want to say that 2021 has made us stronger. We are going in 2022 with a clear with the focus. We know some of the things that have troubled us. Let us be able to work as one team, beginning from the Ngi local government, Momo County, where I come from. Please, we have to find a middle ground. We have to forget about all those things that are putting us apart. Let us choose a middle ground where all of us can agree, because when we work as one, we are stronger. And please, IG institution, stop dividing the institution. When there's a problem, don't choose a side. Go as a mediator and try them as long as they are the IG. We used to do this when we were trying to separate between the Kondenge IG and our own IG, the interim government now. So that's when we started to create local government that was loyal to this interim government. But that time has passed. We are still doing the same practice. We are all IG. We
All
cannot
right.
be choosing sides and separating ourselves. So thank you very much, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Bishop John, Mike Fusi, Rico Akaba, Mr. Nanchop, Female General. It was a pleasure having all of you here on set. As I mentioned, we've only just scratched some of these issues. In the coming weeks, we're going to be really delving into them and having Ambazonians to understand exactly, number one, what those issues are, who is involved in, and how we can tackle them, resolve them, and move forward as a team. For a moment, we are going to end it here, but before I end, ladies and gentlemen, some of you continue to ask us how you can support ABS. You can log on to our website, absafricatv.com, absafricatv.com. You log in there, you find the donation button or the fans club button. You click on that. You can make a donation via PayPal to support the effort here at ABS. Now, I just want to remind you, I have a big show with a big guest, ladies and gentlemen, with a huge guest on Monday. Mark your calendar, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Amber time. 8 p.m. Amber time on Monday. And remember to hit your like button on the website, on the Facebook, so that when we are up, when we are live, if you miss it, you can get notifications. I want to thank you once more for tuning in and being part of this broadcast. It was a great pleasure to have all of you from Bishop John to Mike Fusi to Mr. Nanchop to Rico Akaba to the Female General. Thank you all for being part of the broadcast. And for those of you on Ground Zero, I am really sorry we couldn't take many calls as usual, because I see the phones are still ringing. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that. But trust again, we will come back to these issues. I want to wish all of you, a happy and prosperous New Year. God bless you all, and good night.
ye lokumwe
yangana ye otambera ngamoko mokonzi na biso bongi na lokumwe nasala baviva nazwa medaille nalanda loyenge nazwa lifuti epai na yesu nazwi mapamboli oyo eza na suka te kembo na yawe
kembo na nzambe kembo na yawe emokokisi na bila